special thank you to Pokémon Company for providing the products featured in this video. Hi, hello everyone. Welcome to Directly to You. It's Fanatics 4's podcast. Who's Fanatics 4? We're Fanatics 4. Me and Parker. We are Max isn't. He's LootPots. You know.
I'm just Max. I'm also just Max as well.
Yes, this is the 91st episode of that very podcast. You can help support that podcast by clicking the join button or the subscribe button on youtube.com. I was about to say .tv. youtube.com/Fanatics4 or twitch.tv/Fanatics4 respectively. You know, for $4.99, you get loads of badges, you get emotes, you get gaming time with us, you get free Switch keys from time to time, you get access to our supporters on Discord, which is a great old fun time. Sometimes we randomly jump on the general voice chat and talk about, you know, industry stuff, and then Grimhand comes in the call, and it becomes a party, dude. It's a party.
That happens. That does happen.
It sure does, man. And then other than that, another thing that's like kind of housekeeping a little bit, but not really housekeeping, Pokemon Company sent us a bunch of cool stuff. And I'm going to open this advent calendar thing because we're doing it week to week. We did the first week. We did that. But now I'm going to do week 2. So that's what we're doing.
You're going to open an entire week in one go?
Yes, but not on the podcast. I did it after
I see.
Because Bob did it on Wolf Den Live, and I was like, wait, that's a good idea. So I'm going to do it here.
Well, while you're working out the complex mechanisms of the advent calendar, let's have some filler.
Okay.
Episode 91. Interesting about number 91. It's also the year that Parker was born. 19.
That's so true.
First, what
an intelligent human you are.
Can you see what it says on the
I
thing?
can't. Togepi, something.
Great. But now let's open the pack.
We did it. Good job, Max.
So what happened there is that Parker, you spoke. So what was the thing that I was trying to read? Your face just popped up when you started to read it, so I couldn't read it because it was just your face reading it.
There's a button at the top that says Gallery View. By the way, there's a code thing for people. There it is. Focus. Love it. So there you go. People can
hold on. Wait, let me see something because I can only see your faces, and if they can only see your faces, they didn't see the code.
If you hit Gallery View,
there we go. Yeah, that's what I did. Okay, cool. Here's the code.
Bingo.
Here's the code, people.
Bingo.
You see it? There it is.
First person to get that, they've got.
It's all yours, my guy or girl. I mean, girls can be guys. Yeah. And the age of the millennial, you know.
We got a Tepig.
Tepig.
Yeah.
It's Alolan Sandshrew.
A steel type Alolan Sandshrew?
No, it's ice.
But it looked
another
like
ice. It's a snow runt.
What?
It's a coughing.
Nice.
It's Drillbur.
I do like Drillbur and Exadrill.
It's quite blurry, so I'm guessing these names. Tropius. Are his bananas edible? Will we ever work out? Embor.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like Embor.
And grape energy again.
I don't know. It's Heracross.
Heracross. Oh, I love Heracross.
How dare you not know who Heracross is, dude?
Lily's Pokédoll.
I've got to get out of here. I've got to escape.
Hey, what was the last one?
I already put it down. Hold on.
It's a Dragon Seed Crystal. No one cares. Dead mechanic. Dead mechanic.
Okay, Max, you could talk more about whatever you're talking about.
Interestingly, about the year 1991, it was actually 3 years after the first Tim Burton Batman film came out.
Oh, is that the one with Batman in it?
Yes, yeah. It featured Batman,
classic,
and a classic Batman villain to be revealed.
What?
When the next packet gets opened. It was also 2 years, not 3 years. It was 89.
This is not. I'm not even going to bother putting the whole thing up to the thing again because that's too much work, and I don't even know if you can read them all. So I might want to do that.
Just post the codes, hide the codes in the description. So people have to read the description and they'll just randomly find a code.
I wasn't even talking about that. They can see that. But I was talking about the
picking up the box and
trivia situation. Yeah, I don't know if that's legible. So
hey, we know the first trivia thing said Togepi something or other. So you know what? That's
you can just assume the other ones are about a different Pokemon and something or other.
That is true.
Here's the next code. You can also try to scan the QR code.
I've been claiming these as you've been holding them up. That was the plan, right? This is
Oh, yeah,
right?
exactly.
He's been like claiming them all as we go. But here's the next one, guys. You ready?
A goalet.
Golet.
Nice.
What?
Helioptile.
Helioptile. Yeah. Very yellow, him.
True.
Jupiter?
Mm-hmm.
I like Jupiter. I hate his evolution. Carvanha.
Mm-hmm.
Little Tepig again.
Tepig.
Trade me doubles. Trapinch.
Is that a holographic?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Oh, it's the evolution of Helioptile.
It
Heliolisk.
is. I just had to fight one of him today.
Oh.
Today.
Yeah.
It's another energy. Pang. Slow down, Pang. Moving too much. Pangaram.
Pangoro.
I don't know his name.
Rapidash, the classic one. Vibrava.
There's a lot.
This is just good content. This is such good content.
Here, let me.
I mean, it is good content for video. Let's just cut this out of the audio.
It's not a bad idea.
No. Oh, yeah, okay, maybe actually. Yeah.
Who's to
What
say?
if I need to make hilarious callbacks later in the episode? This is just
that's true.
a nightmare.
And they can go to youtube.com/directly to you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Here, let me also say this. I thought about mentioning this at some point. Keep on doing your thing, AJ. But for anybody who's new to the podcast, first of all, this part of it isn't like normal. We don't normally do openings, but we're doing it now because it's good.
Pokemon Company says something cool.
That's true. It might become more normal. But here's kind of an overview of what these podcasts generally look like. Typically, we talk about what we've been playing, and then we talk about some Nintendo news, and then we'll talk about your comments on our video. So if you came here because you left a comment on our video, and we were like, hey, what's up? There's the code from AJ. And we were like, hey, what's up? We're going to pull your comment and talk about it. There's going to be a timestamp when we talk about those videos. So you can just go straight to that if you really want to skip over the other stuff. But there's that.
Another same pack again. Oh my God, Jupiter again. Did you just shuffle the last pack?
No.
It's Apom.
Who is an important one in Detective Pikachu as well. Onyx, classic. Tepig for the third time. Look at that.
Ooh,
that's a nice art one.
Nice card. I like that coffee.
That one's Stan. Yep.
Galele.
Ukulele.
Boo. Ukulele.
Oh my God, I hate that.
Is that what's that? Oh, it's a
Celio.
Celio. Bisharp. Sick Pokemon.
Another
non-autographed
edible.
Tropius. I do like Tropius. The first time I saw Tropius, I was like, this dude's cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
We're on 11 now. 4 more to go.
Oh my God. Fun fact about England. In England, when you refer to noodles, you're specifically talking about Asian noodles and not pasta like you do in America. So in Pokemon, in the Galar region, when you're making like a noodle curry, you're not using pasta, you're using like egg noodles that would be used in terms, for Japanese or Chinese cooking. Whether they're the same thing, I don't know, but I don't think they are.
Thank you. Nice. So does that mean to refer to any kind of like spaghetti variety of noodles, you would say?
I'm just going to show the new ones.
That's just a piece of pasta. That is a piece of pasta. A noodle is specifically a noodle.
This one's new.
That is Natu.
That one's
I'd say Natu.
I don't know.
I don't think
what would you say for its evolution?
Natu.
Sfeel.
That one's new. We already saw
Kiss
that.
from a Rose by Sfeel.
Here's a holographic one. Yeah, sure. Holographic boy. There it is.
Oh, that's nice.
Who is that?
I couldn't tell. What was that?
I don't know. Hold on. It's dark over here.
I think it was Zatu, but I don't know how you pronounce it.
Zatu.
It's Zatu. So you go Natu.
I say Zatu.
Okay, cool. X-A2.
Yeah.
And then there's like trainer cards.
A2 Brutus.
There's nothing interesting. I'm showing the interesting ones so we can get through this, Here's
a tidbit for Max. I stumbled upon something Monty Python this week that I hadn't stumbled upon in a very long time. Kids in my high school sang the Lumberjack song all the time. I don't know. That's I am a lumberjack and I am okay. I sleep all night. That one. Completely forgot about it. Unlocked so many memories just to hear that song. If anybody wants to look it up, go for it. It's just called the Lumberjack song.
We just got copyright claimed for it.
Oh, no. We just changed the words a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
That doesn't even work anymore. It doesn't even work.
It is
melodies
crazy
are copyrightable. You can copyright the melody, and that's
Actually, speaking of which, that'll come up in a thing. Actually, where was that? Somebody had a question about something, and I don't think
Here it is. The code.
Nice.
There you go.
Good code.
That was
Very
perfect.
dude.
Hit pause if you want to get that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, hit pause. Here's Rock Ruff. I don't think we had one of those yet.
We have not.
Don't.
He's
Rock
very
Ruff.
sweet.
There he
He's
is.
a sweet
good
little
boy.
pup.
Shame he's not in
Never had
Gala.
one of those.
Yeah.
This one's
Famous for our
hologram.
werewolves.
But
American
we
Werewolf
have
in
one of
London.
these, I think. But this one's reverse hollow. It's the raccoon.
Oh.
Get rid of it. Chuck it away.
And then I thought that one was no, nothing doing that one.
Okay.
This is entertaining content. So,
How dare you? People,
what's
you know
the
how many people like opening cards, dude?
right, Parker, this fun fact. I say a word, you say the next word, and then we come up with a fun fact. So, today,
I
went
to
the
place
where
I
left
You cheated.
my
jacket
all
over.
You left
Everywhere.
your jacket all over.
all over everywhere.
Did
Today,
you
we went
cut
to the
it
place, and I left my jacket all over everywhere.
Yeah.
Fun
It's a very
fact
fun
of the
fact.
day.
Yep.
Did you cut it up? Is the question that I have for you.
Quick question, AJ, for next week. Why don't you open all the things, put all the packs out in a line, open them, and then just get the cards out and show them quickly?
Because people like unboxings.
Oh, okay, true.
Also, Pokemon Company specifically said like it would be the best if we unbox them so people get an idea of what is
Okay.
actually in there.
Also,
What-
just for anybody, because Pokemon Company, blah, blah, things. This is fizzy water. Just, it's not an alcoholic drink. I don't know if that matters for unboxings, but
Is that White Claw?
it's everything. It's fizzy water, but obviously with all the things.
This one's a good. This is a good card.
Oh,
This is a good new card. It's all
It's
Nice.
Swirlix.
Swirlix.
Swirlix is the evolution of Swirlix.
Uh-huh.
I learned that from Pokemon Sword.
fun fact.
Is-
Here's a reverse hollow, and we got a full art in here, dude.
Ooh, nice.
Who is that?
Ultra something?
Ultra Cosmo, okay.
It's
Yep.
Ultra in the card.
Yawn.
How dare
Classic.
you, dude?
I
But
didn't play Ultra Sun.
this one's cool.
He was Parker, though.
Neither did
That's
Parker.
Oh, that's really nice. Or a Coco, or a Corio. That's
Pretty
good.
much that Pokemon. I got it. Got it down.
This definitely used to get cut out of the audio.
Okay, last one, last pack. Get ready for the code.
For the audio listeners, I did a cool dance move.
I don't know if the audio listeners are going to listen to this part.
They won't have, but they'll know. They'll just
They'll know.
feel it in their
They'll have a
bones.
spiritual feeling inside.
Yep.
You should go one step further and cut this little bit out and have it as a separate video. Just watch the unboxing.
No.
No.
Or
No.
yes.
I've always wanted to do like an April Fool's Day podcast where you do like, if you, obviously this is a video podcast now, but if it wasn't a video podcast, what you do is you go, oh yeah,
Do something like
now
that.
we're finally doing a video podcast. What you do is you post the video without any audio,
Uh-huh.
and they've got to sync it up themselves.
Oh my god.
So you have the audio podcast with no video,
Uh-huh.
video podcast no audio, and then yeah, great.
There's a it's not quite that, but similar kind of a thing that I'll tell about after we do this next cards.
That's the
That
clearest
code?
code we've had so far.
That was a
I was
great
able to
looking
read that
code.
one very clearly.
Yep. W something something something
Yep.
something something.
That's
Got
great,
it.
yes.
They can
Easy.
pause it. The future people could pause it. Here's a reverse hollow.
We love future people. Okay.
Another-
Nice.
Yeah, we had that already.
Heliolisk. I think we just didn't have a hollow version of it.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was
I
a reverse
didn't realize
hollow.
any card could be holographic. Okay.
Yeah, that's
And
seems
that's
like
the
a
last one.
Yeah.
Thanks, Pokemon Company. Heart. Kisses. On to the podcast.
That's right.
You guys playing any video games?
Here, let me finish just because things being left open-ended is always... I was starting to say something right before that last one.
Okay.
I'm going to just finish it so that people aren't like, what was that thing? Because that's
Yeah.
what I would be like. Copeland has an album called Ixora, and they had 2 albums come out. They had one of them that was just a normal one, and then they had a second one called Ixora Twin that you're supposed to play both of them at the same time on stereo sets, like a stereo set in front of you and a stereo set behind you, and it just like fills out all the songs. So it's like if you listen to just the twin version, some of them feel like okay songs as far as like mixing stuff, but some of them it's like and that's like it. And the part, but it's really good and it sounds fun. So that's that. Moving along.
Video
Yep.
games.
We played some video games.
Sure did.
So I have been playing 3 video games, but I'm going to leave the video game I play most to the end because you guys have all been playing the same video game. I'm going to
playing
How do you
one of
know?
the video games too.
That's a great question. Parker probably hasn't played it. Parker didn't play video games. So I'll start with Digimon Cyber Sleuth that I played this week.
I haven't played that.
Yeah. So I got the code from Bandai Namco UK. Shout outs to Gemma at Bandai Namco UK for providing me with the code. It took me a while to get to it because there have been other things coming out, and then Pokemon came out. But I thought, right, I finally gave it a go. It's okay. My plan was to get the code, come to AJ, and we were going to do a collaboration of like Pokemon versus Digimon. Why this Digimon game might be better than Pokemon? Why you should play Digimon still? Blah 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 blah. And I was like prepared to fully go in, having played Pokemon and played Digimon, to make that comparison, do that thing. I don't agree with any of the points I was going to make originally. So that content is now dead, and the content you're listening to now is the Digimon content.
So, in other words, Max admitted defeat prior to even making the video.
No, because I didn't. No,
he just knew. He knew that
all
I
the
was
pieces
going to
there,
win.
they don't connect like that.
I was going to win that debate.
Right. So it looks kind of nice. It looks, it's a Vita game basically blown up, but made to look HD and nice. It was on PS4 too.
Right.
It's kind of boring in the.
When did PS4 2 come out?
What did I
missed that tidbit of information.
Next year. It's cool. Like, it's a turn-based RPG. It's very much like you run around. If you remember, like the old Digimon World game on PS1, where like the worlds are very 2D. It's just a 2D world, and then your 3D character runs around it.
Okay.
These is very similar in that the worlds are just sort of like hand drawn. Your character, they're probably 3D. I can't remember now. But you're running around them. You can't really interact with very much of it. Just talk to people. And you walk through doors, and there's no camera movements. It's all very like static. It very much feels like a Vita game, like a handheld game. And then the combat is just sort of standard turn-based RPG fare. It's cool to see the Digimon in 3D. The story presentation is kind of nice. The introduction had a really cool like way of introducing the characters and stuff, and presenting itself really well. But overall, I as someone that's not big into turn-based combat, there wasn't enough to drag me into something like Pokemon, or even things like that are close to turn-based combat, like Team Wild Quest or Xenoblade Chronicles 2 or something like that did. If you're into JRPGs, then this is probably a game you're really going to love. Didn't quite gel with me, so I'm probably not going to continue playing it, which is a shame.
Did you make friends with the Vmon?
Didn't meet Vmon. No, I only met. I evolved my Terriermon.
I don't know what that is.
Terriermon. Is it like a terrier, like a dog?
No, it don't actually. It's like a little white thing with ears, and it can fly using its ears. I think it's got a little horn on its head.
Yeah, that's a dog.
When he evolves into.
They fly.
Something with gun, like Barrett has from Final Fantasy has the gun on his hand.
Okay.
Yes.
Imagine he's got one of those on both hands. That's the evolution of Terriermon. He was very cool in the first Digimon movie. As you know, I grew up with Digimon, and I grew up with
How do you spell that? Terriermon?
Terriermon, like terrier, like the dog.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Terriermon. I'm looking it up. Oh, that guy. Yeah.
Oh, you could do the screen share. That's what you could have did.
It's too late for this one. That's short enough. But we'll do that. We'll do screen share later.
Multimedia.
True.
So, yeah, I played some Pokemon, Digimon rather.
How dare you?
With Alien Isolation. Which I
too played a little bit of that. Yeah, I was playing it before the podcast. He did it. There
He did it anyway. Look at him.
Get his evolution up. Get his evolution up. Find his
okay.
Evolution.
It's
there. I can see it. It just says it there. Gargomon there. No.
Too late. I'm looking up Digivolution. Oh, right. I don't know.
The same thing popped up.
It's horrendous. There we go.
Okay.
That shows you all the forms. So he's got his guns.
Yeah.
Look
at these guys. Classic, bro.
Covering the last one. So yeah, that's Digimon. Digimon's kind of like Pokemon's weirder brother in the way that the evolutions go. Anyway, Alien Isolation. Yeah. AJ, how much did you play?
I played like an hour.
Yeah, me too. I got sort of deep into the sort of introduction. I got onto the ship. I moved around, but I turned some power on. Probably about an hour. I spent a lot of time just looking around and like, stopping and turning the camera and looking at the lighting and moving in and out of things just to test it, because like Digital Foundry have said, and many others have agreed, that it's like it's a fantastic looking Switch port. It looks as good, if not better, than the PS4 version, because they've done some sort of tweaky stuff to the anti-aliasing and some of the lighting and stuff like that.
That's
so
the technical terms. It's tweaky stuff.
They've tweaked it. All right, they've
You're
added
not
new
wrong.
stuff to
They've
it.
done some
The edges
stuff.
are cleaner. The edges aren't quite as jagged, and the light doesn't make them look weird. And it just, I think. So a friend of mine recently bought a Switch, and he's always been of the mind of like, nah, I'm never going to buy a game port console. It's never going to look as good. I've already got it on PC. Blah blah blah. But I was playing this game in front of him yesterday, and he was like, "This is crazy because it doesn't look like a Switch game. It doesn't have the sort of blurry, jagged look of Doom. It doesn't have the sort of like low quality JPEG look like Warframe. No offense for any Doom or Warframe fans, but it looks like a clean, full console game that's running on Switch, and it's very impressive."
There are, like, anti-aliasing definitely is a thing on a lot of Switch games where they're like, we got to do too many other things. We're just not even going to bother.
Yeah.
Many things where it's just like, oh, man, that's just kind of bad.
Yeah.
And I just get over it for the most part. And if you take a kind of a pan out look at the whole picture, like a lot of times they focus on other things and other things look good and fine. But yeah, the anti-aliasing thing definitely is... the little jaggies.
Yes, there's a lot of jaggies. Whereas Luigi's Mansion, I think, is one of those games that doesn't have a lot of it.
It's clean. That's one of the games that I did play a little bit this week. So that's good. Yeah, I played a bit more of that with
tell us about it.
I would love to. I was on floor 9, I believe.
I didn't even get to talk about my Alien Isolation.
Oh, no.
So, jump back. AJ, go.
So I pllayed Alien Isolation. I was, you know what, the bit that I was going to do, I was going to like try to like mimic what you said, but I wasn't enough to do that. I'm just saying I didn't hear that. Could you mimic everything that he said?
Every single thing. If I had played Alien Isolation.
Sure. Anyway, yeah, I did the same thing. I walked around and turned the power back on, and I'm upset because I walked under the thing with the sparking thing, and it hurt me. So now I'm at a disadvantage, dude. I'm missing like 25% of my health. So if I run into an alien, the alien's going to kill me, dude. Rip me.
Are we at the same point? Did we like finish at the same point?
I think so, yeah.
Because you fall down the chute.
Yeah,
because the thing gives way, and then you see the Nostromos, the big statue of the thing.
Yes.
You go up the stairs, you turn the light on, and then I saved the game there, and I went to play Overwatch for 5 hours. So.
Right, I didn't. Do
I played some Overwatch as well, but I'm not going to talk about it because it's just Overwatch. So.
It's Overwatch.
So now segue.
Okay, you can talk about your Luigi's Mansion now.
I will. Look at that. Hey. Yeah, I played some more Luigi's Mansion. Ashley and I booted it up. I had stopped on floor 9. I hadn't even looked at floor 9, but I'd stopped right there. And then
which is floor 9? Sorry,
floor 9 is a boss fight. So now both of the boss fight only floors I actually had happened to play with Ashley. It was the dinosaur bones one.
Oh yeah, that was some rubbish, man.
So that one, there were definitely a couple bits in that. Also, one of my Joy-Cons just wasn't connecting well. Like it wasn't a drift issue; it was a literal like just disconnecting thing. So there were a couple times where I got hit where I was like just mad because I was like, this is not fun for that to happen. But in any case, yeah. So
do you not have a Pro Controller?
No, man. I just use Joy-Con. Most of the time, they're great.
You don't have a Pro Controller?
Here's the thing. So much of the time, no, I just love playing with the Joy-Con. It's great and good.
What a casual dude.
Also, like, I like sitting on the couch and leaning back, and like Ashley will take a nap or something, and she'll be like, "Can you tickle me?" And some games, I'm like, I just can't. It's not going to happen. But other games, I'm like, yeah, I kind of can, so I can like, play with one hand a little bit and then tickle her some.
You can play with one hand
also,
with a Pro Controller if you're a true pro.
Tickle not in the context of like laughter tickle, but just like, scratch my arm kind of a thing.
Can you torture me? Annoying.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so in any case, we played floor 9, which was a boss fight, which was good. And then we did the basement 2, which I'd heard lots of things about. And I will say it's better with multiplayer, but it's still janky. So
the boss is definitely janky. I thought the rest
it is. It took me so long to. Yeah, it was floating around in their little dinghy thing or whatever it is. That was annoying. There was one time that was really funny. It took us forever to figure out this one puzzle, and we just didn't know what we were doing wrong. And I tried literally everything in this room until I stopped thinking about it in a multiplayer way and thought about it in a single player way. And I was like, oh, oh, it's really easy. It was, I had to get Guigi across some water, and I was like, I don't know how to get him across this water. And I was like, oh, if I just get him to go away and then spawn him on the other side.
Yes.
And it was like, oh, there we go. That's really easy. So, but yeah, played some of that, and that was a good time. I'm looking forward to seeing the remainder of what there is to offer.
Yeah, I really hope you have you been collecting all of the gems.
Not all of them. At this point, I'm kind of trying to like just, do everything I want to do, but not like go too slowly to be able to get to the end. And then I'll probably come back around and get all the gems later if I want to.
Yeah, I sort of, before the last boss, went around and just picked all the ones that I was missing up. I bought like 5 or 6 of them from the shop, and then the ones that I was missing, I just went round to the rooms and was like, okay, that looks like it is. And Ella would be like watching me play, because I don't want to messing up as Goichi, man. I don't want to. When I was playing the actual game you can play, but I'm just trying to run around picking up gems. I'm like, I don't need someone slowing me down. I hope she says she can listen to this as well. She was like pointing out. We were in the room where you were, where the boss was, the museum boss. And
yeah,
was like, have you tried this? And I was like, I don't think I have actually. And I did it, and it was right. And I was like, oh, you're a genius.
She's a genius.
And she is a genius.
So you were slowing her down.
Yep. Thanks a lot.
Way to go. But yeah,
flipped me over there.
Other than that, I haven't played it at all, but I bought Unravel 2 because co-op, and it was $5, so that was good. It was for Black Friday. It was off. It was like 75% off, and it was just $5.
What, on the eShop?
Yep. Maybe only in the US. I don't know. It might not.
Well, yeah, I've got a US eShop.
Well,
I'm international, Parker.
You're so right.
I'm getting codes from all around the world. I've got 3 codes in my entire career.
That's
one of them needed a US eShop.
Well, there you go. But yeah, that's everything I've played except for the obvious one. And I'd say, here's what I'll say. Let's maybe not talk about it a ton. Pokemon, obviously. We've got because next week we're doing the spoiler cast. But I just beat it earlier today.
Oh, sick.
So last night I got like almost done. I was close to done, but had one battle left, and I did that today.
So you are the champion of Galar.
Oh yeah, I'm the only one. I don't know about you guys, but obviously I'm better than you guys. I'm the champion of Galar. So
what does your team look like at the end?
My team is Corviknight because obviously Corviknight.
Not a shiny Corviknight like me.
No, I know. I would love to have one. But yeah, so it's Corviknight, Toxtricity, Inteleon, Colossal. I really like Colossal, actually.
This really sounds like my team.
He's not a train. He's not trained. So.
He's
yeah.
Who else? Rapidash, Galarian Rapidash, and something else. Surfetch. Duh.
No.
Surfetch.
Okay.
Yep.
This first half of that sounded almost exactly like my team, except for Inteleon, because I like the guys that I picked up at the start. I just carried through. Usually, I don't do that. I'll just swap and change. But like Corviknight, I took through with me. Toxtricity, I eventually dropped actually. But Dreadnought, who I picked up as whatever his pre-evolution was, picked him up at the start of the game. Dropped Rillaboom as quickly as I could. But then eventually I took him into the championship, so I was like, oh damn it, I've got nothing that's going to be any good. So yes, so you've just beaten that's your completion.
I just beat it, yeah. And I will say there was the last fight was pretty close. A couple of things happened, but I think I was left with, I had to use a max revive like twice, which I pretty much didn't have to do at all in the rest of the game. But I was like level 58 with most everybody, and he was level like 62 to 65. So I was a little under leveled, I guess. But how
are you? How though the game levels all
his game also the fact that that Charizard has max overgrowth it's Solar Beam, which Solar Beam is okay to be a little OP because it takes 2 turns most of the time. But once it turns into max overgrowth, that's really powerful because it's just a 1-turn thing. So he straight up killed my Inteleon first hit. And ironically, it was my Colossal that beat him, which was funny considering rock things and all that. But rock and fire. I will say, okay, one thing real quick. I whited out one time in the game, And it was
What a
because
pleb, dude.
I know it was because
I'm not gonna berate you.
I mean, also, what a pleb, dude.
it was when I was like going through and trying to equally level on my team. So I had all of my weakest Galarian Pokemon on my team, and then Hop was like, "Hey, let's go over this next area." It was like, I don't know, Route 6 or 7 or something like that. So most of my team was like, my main team was like 34 or 35 or something like that, and then all of the ones that I had on my party at that time were like level 28 because they were my weakest ones. And then I ran into Hop and he's like, "Let's fight." And I was like, "Ah, no." And so we fought, and everybody was really weak. And I tried my best to like make it work anyway. But one of his Pokemon, I don't remember what it was, I just like couldn't even do anything to because my typings were all off and stuff. So that was, I felt stupid about that. But
So did you do the post-game stuff? Yeah.
haven't yet. No, I literally beat, like on my not even lunch break today, I beat, Leon. So I haven't done any of the post-game stuff.
I have not done any post-game stuff either.
Ooh.
None of it. But I did. So when you said about how like you got to champion, you were by the end you were like worried that you might die. You had to use max revives.
Mm-hmm.
I went into the championship like what I would say is over leveled. I'd been like trying to chain shinies. I'd been going around evolving Pokemon, leveling stuff up. So by the time I actually got there, all my Pokemon were like one hitting everyone on the way up.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't until I got to to Leon and I was fighting him and I was like, time to just clear this out. And I was like, oh, I'm actually having quite a difficult time here. And like I lost like 4 Pokemon and I was like, oh god,
yeah.
How is this suddenly gone from like in the space of like 3 fights, from me being like easy one hit to I did say hit to being to struggling, which because I thought that a few times in the game where I was like, I'd been training for shinies or just doing something like that, and I thought I was over leveled, and then the game reminded me I wasn't over leveled, and that actually you're supposed to be still grinding, even though all your Pokemon are leveling up at once. You're still supposed to be grinding.
Yeah,
which is an interesting point.
Or just like having a slightly harder time in some regards. Like, I mean, I was totally fine. I liked the fact that I had a bit of a hard time against the champion, just because it felt like I was overcoming something, as opposed to like if I had been level 65 as well with everything, he just would have been wiped. And like, that's not quite as much fun as having to work for it or whatever. But yeah, so all that. Well, next week we're going to do a spoiler cast, by the way, everybody. But
we're going to have Pete on, Pete from LootPots.
Yep.
Like Pete, we're gonna have some agreements, some disagreements, some exciting memories, some exciting times, and also some things we didn't like. So I think I'm very excited for that one.
Indeed.
So that's the 13th. I think we're going to record that one.
Yeah, that's the day after the Game Awards.
So we're going to have to do some news.
Talk
fresh
about
news.
the brand new character in Smash Brothers who's going to be Paperboy, titular Paperboy.
I like Smash Brothers. I like new characters. I'm so bored of every potential Nintendo being dominated by what's the new Smash character going to be? Oh, it's going to be about Smash. Like, can they just do something else? Not. I'm not talking to Nintendo, the fans. Can't you just let them do something else? Can't you let them reveal some new things without being like, well, where's the new Smash character? Well, what's the reveal going to be? I understand.
I don't think it really has anything to do with that. I think that Game Awards specifically makes a lot of sense because the first DLC character was revealed there. So the last character in the pack being revealed there. Also.
Yeah, I get that. But like that is the all the discussion I've seen around the Game Awards of what Nintendo's going to reveal so far has been, it's going to be DLC 5. Can't wait to see what DLC 5 is. And it's like, just give it a breather. Like, reveal that somewhere else and let whatever else is revealed. Because things like Marvel Ultimate Alliance, there are people that didn't know Ultimate Alliance existed for months after that game came out because Nintendo, all the Nintendo press from that event was about Joker. So all of this, I didn't know Sayonara Wild Hearts existed until it came out on iOS. And then I found out it was actually revealed as a Switch exclusive at the Game Awards. I didn't hear that. Because I've been...
Yeah. What sucks, too, is, like, if there's not a Smash character announcement, which, I mean, it's fine if there isn't, if there's other good things. Like, it would kind of suck if Nintendo just didn't show up at all. I'd be like, really, guys? Come on. But if there's no Smash announcement, depending on what it is that's announced, it could easily be overshadowed, like Sayonara Wild Hearts or even Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, kind of a level of thing, could be overshadowed by there wasn't a Smash announcement. So
possibly,
I think them not doing a Smash announcement it's kind of like how people think about Smash Brothers characters, where they're like, oh, this character's in that took X character slot. I don't think it works like that.
Right,
I think that the fact that a Smash Brothers character takes the shine away from the announcement just meant that other announcement wasn't as exciting. So a PlayStation announcement's going to dominate the show, or an Xbox, or whatever other dev brings something to the show. If whatever they announce is not more exciting than a Smash Brothers character, a Smash Brothers character not being there is not going to change how exciting it is. People are still going to would have forgotten that Marvel Ultimate Alliance existed because it's Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Who's really talking about? I like that game, as it was in my video, which I want to get to. But who's still talking about it? Who's like, yeah,
well,
Marvel Ultimate Alliance game of the year, dude.
Let me tell you who is still talking about it. This game of the year right here.
I've got a counterpoint to AJ there. 1 second.
Cool,
so while it's on the screen, AJ, you said that if a game's getting overshadowed by a Smash announcement, it can't be that interesting a game or whatever. But at E3 2019, we had Breath of the Wild 2 and other things announced. But all people could talk about was we got 2 Smash Brothers DLC characters announced.
Because we didn't get a Breath of the Wild 2 announcement. We got a, hey, we're working on this thing. It's this nebulous situation. You don't know anything about the gameplay, but we got a reveal trailer. Let's all, like, if that dominated the discourse, that would be depressing. Like, every time a logo, that's why for me, my least exciting press conferences are usually the Sony ones, because they're like, hey, here's our pitch meeting that we just had. Who knows when this game's actually going to come out? But it exists, kind of. You know, so it's like
I'm just done with every single Nintendo event having to be have a Smash character, or it's not worth having. Like there hasn't been a single DLC character that's been a character that I've wanted or asked for or would want to play. I've not played
You're a fake British person then, because Banjo-Kazooie's in the game.
I didn't play Banjo-Kazooie. I didn't have an N64.
You're a fake British person and a fake millennial.
I was Sony, man, until the GameCube.
Well, you know what? For sure. Transition. Here we go. Look at that.
Oh wow, this is brand new.
Brand new screen.
Never saw this screen before.
Never even pulled it out. You all make fantastic points, but we're going to talk about this because it's kind of related, and it's the next thing we're doing. Just explanation of what this is. Nintendo. By the way, if you're listening to this on podcast form, we've got video form. We actually probably cut out the beginning of the video because it was an unboxing. Blah 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 blah. But yeah, so you can see this on screen is the long story short. If you go to youtube.com/directlyto you. Nintendo has a podcast just like we do, and we are using right now. And on that podcast, they're going to give awards or whatever, I guess. They're going to say who won of various games in different categories that they put out on their website. So we're going to take a look at that and decide what our Fanatics 4 picks of each of these are, because why not? And it's fun.
Yep.
So there you go. So there's 14 categories. The first one is Coolest Co-op, and the options are Cuphead, Luigi's Mansion 3, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, The Black Order, and The Stretchers.
Okay, so Max, you played The Stretchers?
I played The Stretchers. I have played all of these games.
Oh, look at
that. The Stretchers is the only one I didn't play.
Stretchers is very good. It's very overcooked. Very, very there's a lot of variety in the sort of different puzzle things you can do. They've put a lot of effort into the sort of the world and the roaming around, and it's just a real good time. And I think probably out of all of these games, it's the game that I would say requires co-op.
Okay.
Luigi's Mansion 3, while good in co-op, is perfectly fine as a single-player game.
Yep.
Cuphead is actually harder in co-op, technically, because if you're playing with someone that's not like on the same level as you,
True.
The boss is just really hard. Ultimate Alliance 3 is only good in online co-op, but it's perfectly serviceable in single-player as well. Maybe the AI is a bit rubbish, but yeah. My vote here is The Stretchers.
That was the fringe pick for me, because I don't know.
Yeah.
Luigi's Mansion 3 would be
I would go Luigi's Mansion 3
would be my pick, but just based off of the fact that I don't know about The Stretchers, I'm willing to vote for that. I don't.
If it helps, so Luigi's Mansion 3 is my sort of like second place game of the year, and I'm still going to vote for The Stretchers. That's just how good The Stretchers is in co-op.
I mean, I think if the conversation is it, I guess you could view it from a couple different angles. But if it's like it relies the most on co-op and stuff like that too, then I think obviously The Stretchers.
I do think it is the coolest co-op. I think if we're looking at the coolest co-op, I think that's the coolest co-op.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right,
we can vote for that.
Let's do it. The Stretchers. Good job, Stretchers. I didn't even play that game, but you're winning my vote.
I think you and Ashley would have a lot of fun with that. I recommend getting.
I'll take a look. Most vicious versus. Some of these seem like funny picks. Mario and Sonic at the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games is the long title. Overwatch Legendary Edition, Super Mario Maker 2, Tetris 99.
I'm going to go for Overwatch for this one personally.
I'll go for Overwatch because
I was okay.
I have no desire to play Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. Mario Maker would be my pick if it worked. Tetris 99, like it's fine, but like it doesn't feel like co-op. I mean, it doesn't feel like versus most of the time. I'm just playing against myself for the most part, and then like when a thing happens, like oh man, more things I have to clear. I'm not thinking like oh somebody just sent this to me, you know.
Yeah,
there is a way to tactically play Tetris, but it's not the way probably most people play. Probably like the top 10 players might play it. But it's one of those games where.
Like there definitely is, but when I'm playing it, it's not like directly impacted by what other people are doing. It's just, this setup will be best for me right here, right now, and that's what I'm going to do. Whereas like something like Overwatch or even like Mario and Sonic and Mario Maker, it's like, oh crap, that guy did that, so I'm going to do this. You know?
I will say,
Sonic.
I've seen a lot of cool Super Mario Maker. I was actually going to say Tetris 99, but I think you make a good point that it's like it's a very anxiety-inducing time, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the versus is the strongest element in that. It's more like that's just a barricade for you, like to make it just that much harder.
You're not pitching two brains against each other. Like Mario and Sonic, it's like who can waggle fastest.
Yeah. I think Super Mario Maker 2 has some, again, like you said, it's got some really cool multiplayer stuff, and it's funny to watch, but it is broken a lot of the time, and all that kind of stuff. So I could see Overwatch. I would have gone Tetris 99, but I think for the reasons you said, Overwatch makes more sense.
Have you played Overwatch, Parker?
You know, I haven't, and I
invited him to the Cute Boy stream, and he declined. He didn't want to be.
Wait, there's a Cute Boy, an Overwatch Cute Boy stream.
Yeah, there was, but too late. We already did it.
Why would you?
When the game came out. We were talking about this the whole freaking time. This was the thing. If you wanted,
I never got an
said something.
Well, I didn't have Overwatch then.
You know how invites work here, dude.
Yeah, true. Let's do another one. I'm learning my I forgot his name. Who's the big guy with the shield?
Reinhardt.
I'm learning Reinhardt. I've got a pretty strong Reinhardt going.
I think Zamazenta. Pretty sure.
Oh my goodness.
Next, please.
Overwatch. All right. Bright idea. Baba Is You, Ring Fit Adventure, Nintendo Labo VR Kit, and Untitled Goose Game.
Okay.
We need to decide what brightest bright idea means before we can.
Yes, that is a very good. Yeah.
So brightest bright idea.
What's the most innovative idea?
I think so.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And for
not
this,
Untitled Goose Game, that's for sure.
Yeah, no. I haven't played Baba Is You, so I can't really speak to that. But the immediate two picks for me were Labo VR and Ring Fit Adventure.
I think the same.
I think Ring Fit Adventure. So the reasons I would disqualify a lot of these, Untitled Goose Game is like awesome and great, and I love it. Yeah, but
as a game, it's not that innovative. It's just innovative because it's a goose. You know,
exactly.
Like, it's anything brand new.
It's just it's a funny idea and it implements it well. Yeah. So like cool. VR Kit. It's just VR in a lot of regard. I mean, like they're doing.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Pierce my eardrum with that disagreement there, HA. I think I have Labo VR. I own it. I've played it. It's very, very cool. But I don't think. I mean, it's very, very cool. It's very, very cool. The building.
I think
the games aren't as innovative. Maybe.
I think Ring Fit.
I'd say Ring Fit.
But I just got to push back a little bit with the like. It's just
no. You're right.
Like, it stresses a lot the tactical end. I mean,
when I looked at
the tactile end of playing the game.
It's the tactical end. Yeah, it's the like Fire Emblem-y, you know. No, when I looked at the picture, I honestly had forgotten that the Toy-Cons were part of it, and I only remembered the VR.
Oh no, yeah, the best bit of the VR.
I was like, oh, never mind. I forgot about the like shooter and stuff.
The best bit of the VR starter kit is like when you start putting the gun together and you're like, how is this even going to work? And then you slide the bit into the bit, you attach the tab, and you're like, what does this do? Then you cock the gun for the first time and shoot.
You're like, I did that. That's why I made that happen.
Exactly. Yeah. It feels like you go, you push the button, and you go, and you're like, that's how it should feel. Mm-hmm. And then when you're playing the games, unlike other VR games where you might be getting like some vibration feedback or whatever, it feels like you're loading and firing a gun. I think that's very cool. But I do agree that Ring Fit Adventure probably does it in a better way. Baba Is You, I think, is It's a great idea, a very
Yeah.
clever puzzle game, a very unique puzzle game that had a lot of good ideas, but I don't think it's as innovative as Lab Ring Fit Adventure. I think we're going to see with the level editor that's coming out, we're going to see a lot of innovative stuff, but Ring Fit gets it.
Yeah.
There you go. Most unexpected, and these are moments more so maybe than specific things. Reveal of Cadence Hyrule: Crypt of the Necrodancer, featuring Legend of Zelda.
Yes.
Link as a playable character in Super Mario Maker 2. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Fighters Pass reveals, and the hype for Untitled Goose Game.
I'm going to go for Crypt of the Necrodancer. That's what I meant. Yeah, Crypt of Hyrule. Yeah, absolutely.
Crypt of Hyrule.
Sorry.
Because that one was like, what? That was like a whole thing. With Smash Brothers, it's like you have some level of like, okay, you're supposed to expect that you're not going to expect the thing. Yeah. But you couldn't even like predict Cadence of Hyrule.
And also a couple of them were very, if we're talking about the ones that are from this year, the two that I think of, the 2 E3 ones, were, whilst unexpected at the time, in hindsight, it's like, obviously they've wanted Banjo-Kazooie.
I think none of the Smash Brothers reveals except for Joker were unexpected for me. Because they're
maybe Terry.
Yeah.
I think Terry was probably unexpected on the level of like, oh, he doesn't matter to a lot of people.
Maybe more unexpected like in the same way of like Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, where it's like, oh, I never would have even thought of that. But
or even like something like a lot of people would be like, man, Banjo-Kazooie was a surprise, but really he wasn't. Like, it was like
before the game came out. Before the game came out, there were already pictures of like, oh, this is going to be the set. It's going to be Erdic, it's going to be Doom Guy, it's going to be Banjo-Kazooie. People have been expecting Banjo-Kazooie for a long time. And same with Hero from Thingy. Dragon Quest, that is. Link as playable character, fine. Hype for Untitled Goose Game is unexpected, but I can get, there's too much Goose Game in this, man. Go away. Cadence of Hyrule, when it was first announced, the second you click that it's like, oh, this is a Zelda game. And then like you hear the music and it all kicks in, and
just the idea of Nintendo working directly with indies, like that's, I mean, they have in some ways, but this is
but not like this, where indie was just able to make a Nintendo game helmed by an IP that is like probably their most important one right now.
Yep.
Why did they have hype for Untitled Goose Game and not the fact that Daemon X Machina didn't get a 96 Metacritic? Why is that not?
Oh my goodness! Next,
moving along. Favorite Ultimate Fighters Pass character? Banjo and Kazooie, Hero, Joker, Terry.
I don't know. I don't. They're all the same level to me. Banjo, give it to Banjo.
Yeah, I would trust AJ, but when I voted for this for myself, I put Hero. So there you go.
I think Joker's the best one in terms of like how good the character is. Hero's toxic. Terry exists. Banjo's cool.
Banjo's very much a third-party thing, which is good.
Yeah.
Toughest challenge.
Challenge.
Ignore the bottom two because the bottom two, they're fake challenges. People make them specifically. Oh, apart from
I gotta read them so that everybody on the podcast knows.
Sorry.
You're crazy. Baba Is You, Cuphead, Super Mario Maker 2, and Tetris 99.
Cuphead.
Yeah, probably Cuphead. Although Baba Is You is one of those games where like you can scratch your head for ages.
Well, I never played it, so I can't say that. I played Cuphead, so I can say Cuphead.
It's also I wonder.
Yup.
Taking the internet into account probably isn't a thing, but the fact that for a puzzle game, you theoretically, if you're talking about just overall challenge, like there's no way to cheese Cuphead by, I mean, like you can
look up Baba Is You,
but you could just look up Baba Is You.
Give it to Cuphead. I seem to buy Cuphead. I've got it on PC, but
I mean, Super Mario Maker 2 obviously has some incredibly challenging things, but like you said, it's not by nature of it challenging. You can also be like, oh, I mean, if you're talking about like the single player content or whatever, it's like, no, that's pretty easy. It's fun, but it's easy. Most glorious graphics.
I'm sorry, carry on.
Astral Chain, Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening, Luigi's Mansion, and Dragon Quest XI-S.
Luigi's Mansion.
There are parts of Astral Chain that I think are some of the best looking stuff I've seen this year. There are just bits when you first walk out into the city and you look up at all the neon lights and like, wow, that like the lighting, the contrast, incredible. But Luigi's Mansion 3 was just so technically just incredible.
It's great. Astral Chain, I'd still really like to play Astral Chain because I haven't even touched it because I don't have it. But it is because it's cell shaded and like kind of detailed and stuff, it feels a bit busy from the things that I've seen some of the time. which
it's Astral Chain, sorry.
Yes, yeah.
So it doesn't have any anti-aliasing, so it does have a lot of jaggies. It does have a lot of like, it's not technically good looking. It's just a really good art style.
Yeah.
Whereas I think Luigi's Mansion nails both the art style and the visual fidelity.
Yeah.
So I think
Dragon Quest XI-S, I haven't played, but I think I will be after.
Have you not even played the demo?
No, because I've been waiting. I was just like, I'm just going to play it.
Why? But you can. It doesn't. Why?
Because I had other things to play at the time. But when I get it, I'm just going to play it.
I thought Dragon Quest XI was going to be the game you were buying. I'm pretty sure it was on this podcast. You were like, "Oh yeah, my game of this month is going to be."
Well, yeah, I'm still very much planning on playing it, but right now I'm not going to buy anything for myself because Christmas is around the corner.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's probably just going to happen that way. But if it doesn't, I'm just going to buy it after that. So, but Luigi's Mansion 3 wins. So look at that. Moving on, sweetest soundtrack: Cadence of Hyrule, Katana Zero, Link's Awakening, Sayonara Wild Hearts.
So I haven't played Sayonara Wild Hearts, but I've heard that as music that's not just video game music, it's glorious. Like it's supposed to be, it's like a pop out video game, they call it, don't they? Where it's all about whatever, I don't know. But Cadence of Hyrule, I think, probably is the best. Katana Zero, I think, is a very strong second for me. Katana Zero's soundtrack was really good.
I've only played 2 of these, and they are the Zelda ones. Of those, Cadence of Hyrule, I would say.
Katana Zero?
No, I haven't.
Katana Zero, whatever. It's like in my... You have it, so you have it, you haven't.
No, I haven't
too
played
have it.
I do not have it. I have not either played it, but I could play it through Age's account, and I probably will.
Yeah, I was going to say I can go to you my account. But it's very,
there's a bunch of games. I was talking to you about this in DMs, but like, there's a bunch of games that I would like to own. So like, I don't want to play it on somebody else's and have my save data on theirs, but like, I just need to get over it and just be like, I'm just going to play it and not own it.
I think for single player games, it's like whatever.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing.
You'll breeze through Katana Zero in like 12 hours and then not have any sort of like, I need to own this about it.
Right, exactly. So I need to just get over myself is the big thing. But that said, AJ, what are your thoughts on these ones?
Cadence of Hyrule wins. I agree with what Mag said. But like, of all of these, Cadence of Hyrule is the one that stuck with me and that I'm still like, yo, that song was dope.
Yeah, it was good. Most sensational story: Astral Chain, Dragon Quest XI-S, Echoes of an Elusive Age Definitive Edition. Fire Emblem
we had to read the whole thing
every time. It's the funniest thing in the universe. Fire Emblem Three Houses and Katana Zero.
I'm really glad Katana Zero is getting a nod for this, because by the end of that, I was like, wow, the way it told its story, the narrative of that game was surprising because you don't expect it from a game that basically, what's the game? Hotline Miami. It's basically that sort of style of like, you're being sent out to kill people. But the way they sort of wove a story in and the way they sort of gave you an ending that you were like, oh, wow, okay, Christ, okay, that makes a load of sense. I'm glad it gets a nod. It's not what I'm voting for, but I'm glad it gets a nod.
Fire Emblem.
Yeah, definitely.
100% Fire Emblem.
I'm surprised Astral Chain's come up here because Astral Chain had like the cool anime aspects of it, but I don't think the story was all that memorable.
Oh.
Like it had pretty cool beats.
David Ex Machina. I'm just kidding. People say
there we go. The story is that Geralt travels forward in time.
True.
Spoilers for the news, probably, actually.
Yeah. Well, I didn't even put that in, but I was going to mention it briefly at some point. But moving on. Indie excellence. We got Cuphead, Katana Zero, Gato Roboto. Was that this year?
Yeah, that was like, yeah.
That's so funny. I think it was like a million years ago.
The first conversation I ever actually had with AJ privately was about Gato Roboto. I'm pretty certain.
Man. And Untitled Goose Game.
I feel like it needs to be Katana Zero or Katana Zero,
so
I would say.
Gato Roboto was good. It was very tight.
Cuphead I want to disqualify because it wasn't this year. This year.
Yeah. I thought Untitled Goose Game was also really great. I haven't played Katana Zero, so I couldn't argue one against the other. They're super different, but Untitled Goose Game was real good too.
I think Katana Zero for me. Yeah, I think Gato Roboto was a really good game, but it was very it was quite short. And then at the end of it, when I finished the game, I was like, "Oh, there's actually a glitch holding me back from 100% in this game," which I was
that's
like,
annoying.
Yeah, that's a bit annoying.
Have they patched that since?
Yeah, I think so. You used to have to go some weird roundabout way to get there now. So yeah, I'm going to go Katana Zero. I love that when we get to these bits where I played all 4 of the games. I love it. Means I have an actual opinion on it.
Yeah, I'll go with you guys then on Katana Zero. You guys outvote me.
Just play it,
obviously
man.
a great game. Oh, no, I'm
Play it.
planning on it. So there you go, Katana Zero. Biggest brain bender. Okay, this one should be easy enough. Baba Is You, Box Boy plus Box Girl, Link's Awakening, and Return of the Obra Dinn.
Link's Awakening. Link's Awakening is on this list.
I mean, if you don't look up tutorials, there's definitely things, I guess, that are like...
Or if you haven't played it in 1993.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah. But like, I mean, I know there were a couple times going through the 7th dungeon that I was like, okay, so where do I need to... What? But... Yeah,
but imagine pitching, if you were in this conversation where you're having a conversation with the rest of your Nintendo colleague, and you're like, hey, we've got this category. I'm suggesting Legend of Zelda, and someone else goes, I'm suggesting Baba Is You, and you go, they're definitely category.
I mean, especially thinking about like, I don't know, it being brain bending is different from like, oh, there were some times that I was a little bit unsure, you know, like, so yeah.
I got lost because the game didn't signpost what I need to do. It's not quite the same as this is a genuinely think outside the box challenge, a puzzle that I'm just not wrapping my brain around. Not bending my brain around even.
Baba Is You?
Yeah, Box Boy, Box Girl, I don't think, I think it's a fun puzzle game, but I don't think there's anything which would be like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah. AJ, did you find anything?
I didn't play Baba Is You.
No, for Box Boy and Box Girl.
I'm like halfway through Box Boy and Box Girl.
Yeah, I played a few. I think
I think that there's clever puzzles in there, but the only thing that's like, how do I do this is how to get like the perfect score on it.
Right.
The crowns
so then like getting through.
Yep.
Anyone played Obra Dinn yet?
No.
No, Ella is playing through it. Actually, I think that's what she's doing right now. It's probably a bit late for her, but that's what she was doing at the point of me saying goodnight, where she was playing Obra Dinn.
Nice.
In bed.
I've thought about getting that one. When Ashley first saw it, she was like, the art style, she was like, this makes me feel like anxious and weird looking at this art style. But I feel like it would be a good one that we would enjoy playing together. So
it's so cool that they took one bit and made it 3D. Like the fact that it's just the two colours, and it's in 3D, and in theory, that probably could have been in the on the NES. In theory, visually, you know.
Oh yeah.
It's very cool.
So that said, okay, we're in agreement. Platforming perfection. What number is this? Okay, this is 12 of 14. We got 3 left. Platforming perfection. We got Cuphead, New Super Lucky Tale, Ori and the Blind Forest Definitive Edition, and Super Mario Maker 2.
I don't know that Cuphead is really a platformer because there's only small platform parts of it. It's more of a boss rush game.
Yep.
New Super Lucky Tale, you two played it, right?
Yes.
I've played just a little bit. It was fun. I liked it. But
I played half an hour at EGX.
Yeah, I don't know if I would call it platforming perfection.
No.
Yeah.
Ori and the Blind Forest is great.
Yeah.
Never played Mario Maker 2. I don't like 2D Mario either. So, Ori for me.
AJ, what are your thoughts?
I'm going Mario Maker.
Yeah, I've got to go Mario Maker 2. I think I would very closely say Ori and the Blind Forest, but I think just because Ori and the Blind Forest obviously is a very directed like kind of thing, and I don't know, like Hollow Knight or whatever as far as platforming goes. But Super Mario Maker 2 just being just a platformer, and I don't know, has more
you'll
versatility.
You'll run into more interesting platforming elements. Like I feel like a lot of what makes Ori and the Blind Forest interesting is not necessarily its platforming. It's not like, oh, this mechanic's cool, whereas like in Mario Maker, a lot of the stuff that you'll run into, especially some of like the stuff made by the community, it's like, like how did you put that together to make this?
Yeah. I agree. This is the first one I think that we haven't voted. Maybe the second one that it wasn't what Max wanted.
Yeah.
But we mostly agreed.
I'm very influential. So
we're already there in the first place.
True. Most epic RPG. This one's actually pretty tricky. Dragon Quest XI, S Echoes of Elusive Age Definitive Edition, Fire Emblem 3 Houses, Pokemon Sword, Pokemon Shield, Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Complete Edition.
Fire Emblem.
I haven't played 2 of these that I think would be strong contenders.
Yeah, but I would qualify both of them because they're not even this year. Well, kind of Dragon Quest is a little bit.
Yeah.
They have additional content and all that crap.
I think if I had played The Witcher 3 this year, which I really do want to play Witcher 3, I think it's going to be... Well, a friend of mine's been a big Witcher 3 fan. When he bought the Switch, was like, I'm going to get this game, you're going to get this game, we're going to talk about the game as you play it. So I've got to play it at some point. I think Witcher 3 would probably take it if I played it, but Pokemon doesn't deserve it, so Fire Emblem.
Yeah, I think that them not coming out this year, that's definitely a question. I mean, Fire Emblem's the only one I've played, so I can say, I've also played Pokemon Sword and Shield, but yeah,
Fire Emblem Sword and Shield epic though is
there's big.
I think there's epic parts of it.
Yeah.
I think that the problem though is that the story is more grounded.
Yep.
So
the most epic part.
It's not meant to be epic.
The most epic part of Pokemon Sword and Shield is when all the Pokemon are Dynamaxing in that town, and Hop shows you a photo of it on his phone.
Good point. Yeah, that they definitely could have done more with that. We'll talk about that next week. Players Game of the Year. This is the last one. We got Astral Chain, Dragon Quest XI S, Echoes of an Elusive Fate, Fire Emblem Three Houses, Link's Awakening, Luigi's Mansion 3, Pokemon Sword and Shield, Super Mario Maker 2, and Tetris 99. And we all know...
I am ready to throw down some hands, man. I am ready.
What are you going to say?
I was going to
say Astral Chain because he's dumb.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I found Astral Chain too hard, so I couldn't do it.
I found Astral Chain poorly designed in the first 4 hours of it.
Oh, yeah, we've had this argument on this podcast before. Twice.
And both times we came away like, yeah, but like after the first 4 hours, it's really good. And I'm like, I don't want to commit 4 hours to
I'm pretty sure we've also had this exact argument on one of Bob's streams when I was at the college. We've had this argument.
I was watching that stream and it was funny.
Yeah.
The two official Fanatics 4 votes go to Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Fine.
Yeah.
My silver place vote will go for Luigi's Mansion 3, and my bronze would go to Fire Emblem Three Houses. So technically, I'm voting for Fire Emblem Three Houses.
My gold would go to Fire Emblem. Silver would go to Luigi's Mansion. My bronze would go to Pokemon. My freaking, I was about to say a swear.
Brown, you're brown.
My dirt would go to Astral Chain.
Wow.
Well, that does it. We voted, y'all. Look at all this stuff.
You're advertising a different podcast.
It's Nintendo, though. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, it works. Good stuff. All right. Hey, speaking of some of these games, one of them was Super Mario Maker 2. We got some talk about that real quick. There you go. There's that. I would like people listening for next week when we come back on and do the spoiler cast to just disagree with us like wildly in the comments about everything we just said. I really want for every if you're watching along,
I want them to be like, my ultimate game of the year is Minecraft for Nintendo Switch.
I want you to go through all 12 or how many it was, all 12 options, and say what you would have said and why we're wrong.
True.
Also, tell us what your game of the year is. Wait, that's next week? We're doing that next week too, right?
No, I think we'll do that in 2 weeks because next week we'll have it'll be a thing. Yeah, in 2 weeks we'll probably do our just game.
Yeah, because I know we're doing the spoiler cast.
Yeah,
but I didn't know if we were.
So that stuff.
Are we trying to? Am I going to be doing a hat trick of?
Possibly.
Wow.
If you want to come on in 3 weeks, or in 2 weeks, that is. We'll see.
We'll see.
But yeah, we got to move on because we got lots more things to talk about, and I've only got about an hour left to be here. Oh. Just kidding, but for real though. Super Mario Maker 2 Legendary DLC. I don't know. So long story short, the things that are in it, they added Spike, who throws the spike balls. They also added the spike balls by themselves. They added Pokies. They added Ninja speed runs, which are a thing. There were a couple of little things, and then obviously Link. Boy Zelda himself.
Boy Zelda.
Yep. And on top of just talking about that, also Bianca Wicks asks, what other character would you like to see? It's part of the Q&A, but it made sense to pull it for here. What other character would you like to see become a Super Mario Maker 2 power-up, and which of their abilities would make the most interesting courses?
That one boy from Metroid.
The robot. The
Metroid man, the orange one.
His name's Metroid.
The orange one that turns into a ball, that one.
Yeah, Metroid Boy. I think Metroid Boy, not because of the shooting aspect of it, which would be part of it, more because of the screw attack.
To the ball.
So that you could, less so much that, but every time, so in Mario, whichever one it is, where you get the start and then you're doing the somersault instead of doing the normal jump. That's pretty much lifted from Metroid in that you get the sort of somersault and you're invincible. Having that where you pick up Samus and then you're just Metroid Boy, and you can just like tear through breakable blocks by jumping through them, and then it becomes a different thing of like, okay, which blocks are breakable, which blocks aren't breakable. You've got to time your jump so that you land on the non-breakable blocks. Blah blah blah. I think that'd be quite interesting.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of like there's pulls a little bit from the Mega Mushroom power up, where right now if it's only in I think NSMB 1 that you have it, but if you're a giant Mario and you jump on brick blocks, then they'll break. So then you have to like platform accordingly and stuff like that. So I could see them pulling that across with the Samus thing as well. That would be super fun. Anyway. I mean, no, but I'm just saying you've already got great ideas that fit in perfectly with the canon as it is. Yeah, I think Metroid makes a lot of sense. Or Samus, whatever. And
Ice
Kirby
climbers, do ice climbers and make me have to like manage both of them.
Oh yeah. Or Captain Falcon, but it's suddenly like you're so fast that you have to make like super long racing levels.
True. Yeah.
Pikachu.
What powers would Pikachu have?
Quick attack and Thundershock and
Thunder.
Thunder's basically Thundershock.
Yeah, but like one from down and one from like across.
Yeah, true.
You know,
and a desperate need for cheese because he's still a mouse.
True. I do really like how they implemented Link. I don't know. The question is like, is it worth getting rid of the amiibo costumes for this? And I would say yes. As long as quote unquote, as long as there's more of them. Like if it's just for Link, arguably yes or no. Depends. I
still think yes, just because this is more meaningful. Like the amiibo costumes were just like, you got a sound effect and some animations. It's nice and cute. But in this, it's like it changes the gameplay.
If they make more than if there are like 2 or 3 more on top of this, then I think it's 100% worth it. But I think there's already going to be so many more levels and different kinds of things you can do with just Link as it is.
It just makes it a different game. You're playing a different 100%.
Character. The whole losing the power up as you go thing does suck a little bit, because either that means that you have to have like re-ups of the power up as you go, or it just breaks the level. And not in a fun way. Like it would actually almost be better if you just died as Link. Because it just feels weird to be like, I'm Link going through Hyrule, and then you get hit and you're like, Mario. Seems just a bit odd to like.
And then also, if there's a level built around Link's abilities, you then can't fire an arrow. So P blocking, you just get stuck.
Yeah, you just have to start over. Yeah,
unless the people making the level actually think they're level through.
Don't you expect far too much of people, AJ.
Yeah,
have you guys played this update yet? Have you opened?
I've not. I've been trying to finish Pokemon.
I haven't opened Mario Maker since October.
And you guys tried to get me to buy it. You promised me.
I mean, I haven't opened freaking Astral Chain since I played that for 6-7 hours.
I haven't opened it and played it either, but it doesn't mean it's not good.
So, what are you saying? My point is, I haven't played it in a long time. That has nothing to do with the quality of the game. It just has to do with the fact that I want to play Smash Brothers.
There's been a lot coming out as well.
There has been a lot coming out.
Also that. Also Link's Awakening and Luigi's Mansion and all the other games that came out since Mario Maker came out.
Very true. So, but yeah, that's been fun. I'm hoping they do more of those as they come. We'll dip back into that topic briefly, I think, a little bit later for a specific reason.
If you guys are making Link or Boy Zelda levels in Mario Maker 2 and you want us to check them out, send them to me and Parker, and we'll try to check them out and talk about them.
AJ's going to stream this week exclusively. I'm really putting you in here. Exclusively going to stream fan-made levels starring Boy Zelda.
I will not.
On Wednesday at 9 p.m. EST.
Do that. Can confirm. Will not do that.
Why would you get everyone's hopes up like that, man?
That was totally AJ's fault.
Yeah, it was entirely my fault.
But yeah, speaking of people's fault, it's you guys' fault that people are buying so many Switches.
It's all your fault.
You're losers. Last week.
Not nice.
No, not. We're the losers. It's the two of you and me are the losers.
Okay, all right, got it.
Solid save.
Yeah, something like that. No, everybody's great. But yeah, people bought a lot of Switches. In the US, they had It was 830,000 Switches bought during Thanksgiving week, which is the most of any week for the Nintendo Switch's lifespan. And I don't think maybe beats like the highest Wii month was Thanksgiving-ish in like 2010 or 9 or something like that, and it was 2 million in the US. So the question is, by the end of November, did they sell 2 million? I mean, that's not a question for us, but like,
I think Matt from NPD was saying like, guys, there's like a legitimate chance this has happened. I'm not saying it has. I'm not suggesting I wouldn't bet on it, but there's a legitimate chance that because of that huge weekend, and that's just a weekend. That's just 3. Yeah, right. 4 days.
I think that was their full week. I'm pretty sure. Maybe not.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay. I thought that was just I thought that was just Black Friday to Cyber Monday. Okay, fine. But then maybe.
Yes. But yeah,
it's still impressive. It's still very impressive.
Yeah. So Switch is doing great. Actually, friend of my wife's just texted her and was like, "I'm buying my husband a Switch for Christmas, but I don't know anything about this. Can you help me?" And Ashley's like, "Help her."
Did she say she should have just sent her youtube.com/Fanatics4?
I mean,
there's an entire video, the holiday buying guide.
True. So there's
fake
that
Parker fan.
Fake Parker fan.
Parker.
I haven't even sent anything back yet. Oh, you mean from her? Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking about Ashley. She should have immediately been like,
"Oh, my
husband
husband
the playlist."
Very high.
But she's got the direct source, you know. Like I can. She also, I feel bad because she had asked to like, do you know, are there any good Spider-Man games to buy? And I was like, no. I mean, like Marvel Ultimate Alliance, but like that's not. It
makes a good point. Hitler's friends weren't reading Mein Kampf for his quotes; they were asking Hitler directly. So.
Moving on.
It's even better just to get the video, because like asking directly, you're going to get like you're strewn about thoughts of like I recall this kind of, but in the video it's concise, it's researched, it's scripted, it's literally scripted to get people the information as quickly and easily as possible.
You were not wrong.
Also, she might not have ad block, so that's a bonus.
Oh yeah. Speaking of bonus, we got 6 new games for the NSO, SNES and NES alike. And here they are. I'm going to read them off my screen over here to this side, down there. Star Fox 2, Super Punch-Out, Kirby Superstar, Breath of Fire 2, which is great. And then on the NES, Journey to Silius and Crystallis.
Japan got different stuff, though.
Japan did get different stuff. They got one extra game and didn't get several of our games. So,
rip.
Way to go, Japan. Are you guys excited about any of these in particular?
I have literally zero thoughts about this.
That's not very many.
I could not have any less thoughts about this.
I'll probably play Kirby Star Allies.
No, you wouldn't. No, you would not.
I was going to say I'll probably play Kirby Superstar to compare and see how much better it is than Star Allies.
Yeah.
And then Star Fox 2, because I didn't get the SNES Classic, because like, what am I going to do with that after I play it for 20 minutes?
True.
You know? Probably put it back there somewhere. But
that's pretty much what happened with me with the SNES Classic, because now I just play SNES games on my Switch instead.
Yeah.
So,
I played Super Metroid. I dabbled in a couple of the multiplayer ones and was like, I'll just play Smash Bros with my friends instead. And then I never opened it again. I've got
a lot of games I want to get back to on there, but there's been more like FOMO type games that are happening. So I'm going to play what's relevant first.
I would like to pick up and start playing Link's Awakening like you did for the first time.
Link to the Past?
Link to the Past, sorry, like you did for the first time. I still haven't played Link's Awakening, so that also makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
Link to the Past, same as you. And I think if they did something like Earthbound, I would definitely dive back in and try Earthbound out. Because since playing Undertale and playing a bit of Lucas in Smash Bros, I'm like, okay, I can probably get down with this sort of weird, humorous, top-down RPG nonsense.
Yeah. It's pretty silly. It's got some of the mechanics are definitely interesting. And I played just a little bit of Earthbound on the SNES Classic. And it also, I lost my save a couple of times on that because it's a little bit awkward to like saving in game versus save stating. Like if you do one or the other and you can break things or whatever. It's annoying.
Because you end up loading your game as opposed to loading the save state.
I played like 20 hours of Earthbound. I have
Is it that long?
Wii U. It's pretty long.
Oh,
I have it on Wii U and 3DS.
Oh.
Wow.
It's pretty good.
True
R.I.P.
fan.
Buzz, man. R.I.P. dude.
Spoilers, man.
I mean, you don't even know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, but when I play it,
it happens in the first 20 minutes of the game.
I'm going to meet Buzz when I play it. I'm going to go, well, Buzz is like some sort of alien.
Spoilers, apparently.
Well, now you're going to care about spoilers, are you? Let's move on. Just move on. I'm already annoyed.
Let's move on. How long to beat says it's 30 hours, roughly, to beat.
Okay. You got so close, AJ. So close to the end.
So close.
Yeah.
But yeah,
you could have revived Buzz.
I don't know about that, man.
That's all the news topics.
He's pretty
guys.
ripped, dude. He's pretty ripped.
We did it. We talked about that news. And now we're going into, we got a video from AJ, a video from me, and some questions from you guys. Let's do it. Let's get this show on the road.
Yes, we do.
Video from AJ. You gave your top 10 of 2019 games. We're going to talk about our game of the year stuff as well in other weeks, but we pulled some comments from here to talk about.
Yup. Mm-hmm.
So look at that. Rurik says 2019 was a great gaming year. Here are some of my favorite games of 2019 in no particular order. Apart from my number one. So Mario Maker 2, and then Fire Emblem 3 Houses, Luigi's Mansion 3, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, Link's Awakening, Gears 5, Control, Resident Evil 2, Devil May Cry 5, Katana Zero, Cadence of Hyrule, Wargroove, Yoshi's Crafted World, Pokemon Sword and Shield, Dragon Quest XI, and my number one, Astral Chain.
Oh, yeah, right. I thought you said number one was Mario Maker 2.
I thought so. I read it wrong, I guess. Yeah.
What a solid set of opinions that was.
Also, I thought it was going to be a top 10, and it went past 10, and I was like, there's more than 10 now. What's happening?
A lot of these games are games that I've played and enjoyed, so I appreciate this a lot.
Yep.
Yeah, I played a lot of those. Sure, that's all I have to say. I don't want to get into the Game of the Year stuff just yet.
Yeah.
I would like to, from this list, pick up Control and try it out, because it's one of those games that I think I hear a lot about and would be right up my alley, and I need to pick that up at some point. But it's not on Switch, so right now it's not really a priority for me. I can get it for cheaper on PC years down the line.
Yep.
Let's move on.
That is true. Yeah, but good comment, good list. Lots of good ones on there, and some, like Astral Chain, that I have yet to play. Jamie Fairmaid, who's also Mega Man in Discord.
This is Kiwi Mega Man, right?
Kiwi indeed, yep. Rugby ref and the likes, right? Rugby? Yeah.
What?
Sure. He's a rugby ref.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I thought you were just randomly saying that.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's right.
I thought you were just saying it because he's from New Zealand.
No, I'd probably say cricket or something at that point.
I had to plug my computer in for the video viewers.
In the beginning of his comment.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, plagiarism.
Have you ever seen Rurik and Mega Man in the same room?
I've seen them on the same document. This one, okay, moving along. 2019 was a great year for the Switch. So many new games that made me want to play my Switch more than the PS4, which for me is amazing. Pokemon has been my highlight, and being a part of the Fanatics for Discord and meeting new people has made it so much more enjoyable. 2020 will be just as exciting, and can't wait to see what's announced.
That's very sweet and speaks a lot to the Fanatics for Discord.
That's a plug. In the description, dude.
Yep. We've got a lot of people coming in the Discord recently, and it's fun. It's fun to see new people, because a lot of times we'll see new people show up and be like, hey, everybody. And then everybody else starts talking. And maybe they get overwhelmed, but everybody's super. Duncan will always be like, yo, what's up, man? Everybody, Grimhane, Mega Man and whatnot, or Chicapo and stuff. Everybody's super nice. But then I think maybe it just gets overwhelming. But so seeing a couple people actually join in the conversation. And
yeah. People getting involved. It's nice. There are people that, there are names that I have been picking up on.
Yep.
I didn't know before because they maybe don't interact on the podcast or in the comments or whatever. But yeah, meeting some of the other gang members.
Yep. I'm still making connections of who's who. Also, I just made the connection of who Chicapo is from Twitter. I was like, oh, I've been talking to you in both places, but didn't know it was the same person.
Yeah, I got that.
That happened to me
'Cause I'm a dummy.
this week or last week. It was on a stream with Bob. I stream with Bob too much. I don't know which one. And Jamie, who was Mega Man, was in the comments or the chat, and I was like, yeah, reading his comment or whatever. I was like, I don't know what this is. And he was like, oh, it's Mega Man. I was like, oh, shoot. I never knew that.
There you go. What a time. Moving along. Next comment. We got Friskas, who said, amazing video. Keep up the good work. I only have 2 games for my Switch. Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, amazing game, and Dragon Ball Fighters. And I want to buy another one, but I don't know if I have to buy Smash Brothers Ultimate or Zelda Breath of the Wildy. Any advice?
This is very interesting.
There's an E at the end of Wild, so it's like Oscar Wilde. Oscar Wilde, is that a person?
That is a person. That's a human being.
Okay.
The
Nice.
2 games on the Switch are Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe and Dragon Ball Fighters. That's such an odd
Wouldn't have guessed.
binary of games to have.
Yep. Because
I mean, is it? I feel like
it is.
New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe is one of those games that like a parent would just be like, oh yeah, this game, it's a Mario game.
Oh, true, yeah. But because if you're buying a Switch,
and then Dragon Ball Z is Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, but if you're
like,
buying a Switch yourself, you wouldn't be like, what 2 games am I going to buy with my Switch? You know, you get the classics, you get your Mario Odyssey, you get your Link's Awakening, you get your Astral Chain.
But us, what games we would buy is different from what somebody is just buying a game console and likes Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah,
and
I'm not saying it's a bad decision.
Mario.
I'm just saying it's unexpected.
I could see... I think, like, asking... Okay, so, like, my friend Chris, who doesn't have a Switch, and I thought he was going to be buying one for his kid this year, and I was going to influence all the things, but they said they're going to wait till next year. In any case. But, like, I could see him, I guess, buying New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, because he plays that with his kids on the Wii, just the New Super Mario Bros. Wii. And also, we were talking about Dragon Ball, and I was saying how I don't know anything about Dragon Ball, and would like to, but it's kind of too late now.
Me too.
But he was into that as a kid, so I guess I could see... that, but it's funny to see what Venn diagrams people have of like, I like this thing and this thing. So that's just a fun combination to see. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it.
Bad, but it was interesting.
It is. I think it's interesting too. But I think the question of Smash Ultimate or Zelda maybe depends on if you want multiplayer or not, and that's like because they're both great. I'm going to vouch for Zelda, but I also am like super hardcore single player kind of gamer or local co-op, or whatever. But
I would say from the games that has already got, probably Breath of the Wild, right? I mean, you've got a fighting game already. It depends if they play that fighting game online or not, but
that's true.
Probably like something like Breath of the Wild. Although actually, they're both multiplayer games, really, aren't they? They're both like.
I think it depends entirely.
At which point do you want yet another multiplayer game?
I mean, if you're the type of person that likes multiplayer games, maybe you do.
Yeah.
I think that again, it depends on the type of person you are. If you want this big grand single player thing that you'll play for 200 hours, if you're the type of person that play a game for 200 hours, go Breath of the Wild. If you're a competitive person or you hang out with people a lot that also like playing video games, I would say get Smash. And maybe not even get Smash Brothers. Maybe get Mario Odyssey. Maybe get freaking Mario plus Rabbids. Maybe get, like one other.
Mario plus Rabbids is cheap on sale all the time.
So cheap on sale.
It's great.
There's a lot of Switch games that
I need to get. This is unrelated from any of this. I need to get the Mario plus Rabbids DLC and play it sometime because I know it's great, and I just haven't played it yet.
You talked about it on your video.
I did talk about it on my video. Look at you watching that video.
Hashtags, but I mean, I have to.
You have to. Yeah. It's always fun, like, because sometimes I'll forget to give you timestamps of like, oh, I mentioned this video at this point, and I like just forget to give you a timestamp, and I'll watch the video back and be like, oh, look, he put the timestamp there. AJ's watching. He knows. But yes, good stuff. It depends on what you're looking for, but Breath of the Wild's is an amazing experience, and you should play it.
I kind of missed the timing for this, but I found it funny that Will was like, Will said something about a video that he made this week, and Bob was like, he said something about Bob's video. He was like, oh yeah, you said that in your video, and Bob was like, you watched my video, and I was like, that confirms that Bob doesn't watch Will's videos. Like that would 100% confirm.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny and sad, but funny. Last but not least for this video, Jordan DeBest says, my fave is Fire Emblem, Pokemon, Marvel Ultimate Alliance, Link's Awakening, and Mario Maker. I have Luigi's Mansion 3, but I didn't play much of it yet because I was pretty busy when it came out and Pokemon was around the corner. As for a game I'm so glad I didn't buy was Dragon Quest XI. If they didn't give me a demo, I would have bought the game. The music during battles was so obnoxious, and the story didn't hook me, and everything was pretty generic JRPG. I feel bad saying that because I know a lot of love and heart went into the game and people absolutely loved it, but that game isn't for me.
Damn, Jordan, like, say what you really mean. Like, don't hold back. Jeez, that's
from what I hear for that
scathing
game
review.
too, I mean, I think it is pretty just classic. Like, this is just the best presentation of the most classic JRPG kind of thing. But at the same time, from what I hear, the story maybe has some twists where it's like very classic for the first half, but has some twists that are less so later on. I don't really know. But nevertheless,
if it was just,
if it's not for you, totally fine.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it was just entirely that throughout, because it's like a lot of times games that, or movies or whatever media from like IP that like paved the way. Mm-hmm. You look at them and you're like, oh, this is so cookie cutter, and it's like, yeah, they're the one that made that mold.
Yeah, right.
It's like when people like watch like Seinfeld and they go like, oh man, like this is so generic, it's so full of tropes, and it's like, no, this is where the tropes start.
Yeah.
Man, I think about that kind of thing all the time. And I've probably said it on this podcast before, but there's so many things where I'll try to go back to the original thing and I have a hard time just, like I'll see it through the lens of like, oh, but I see where all those things have wound up now. So like I have a hard time feeling like those are original.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, whatever. I'm going to play Dragon Quest XI. And Jordan, I'll let you know if it turns out any better. But again, maybe it's just not for you in this one.
Finish Luigi's Mansion 3 then.
Yeah, it's very
good. Do
good.
that, Jordan. Do that.
I need to also do that.
You do. Which now seems like a good time coming up. We got Christmas and whatnot.
The brand new Smash Brothers Ultimate character is going to be revealed at the Game Awards, man.
And then it won't come out until February, so you got plenty of time.
That's not true. They never said that.
No, I know, but I'm just making you.
It's going to come out the day after the fact, and I'm going to be sucked back in and playing Smash Brothers for another however many hours.
Oh man, so that's all we got from comments for AJ's video, and now we got some comments for my video that we want to read out. Here we go. Here they are. Let's do this thing. First of all, lots of people commenting about Kirby, which was fun to read over. But Max, did you watch my video just to know the context of things?
Did not.
If not, that's totally fine. So I talked about fake fan.
I talked about when I get a chance, AJ.
True. It's about DLC in Nintendo games, pretty much. So like, kind of can't group them into the like expansion pass type stuff with like Breath of the Wild, Xenoblade, Fire Emblem, et cetera, and then games like Splatoon 2 and Smash Ultimate that have kind of progressive DLC, but it that kind of thing. But then also like kind of pretty much berated Kirby a little bit for being
good.
Like for seeming like,
how do you berate something a little bit?
That's a great question. But yeah, for just being a game that it wasn't like didn't have enough content at launch and it fixed it through its updates, like that's not really a healthy way to go about it. But it was interesting reading the comments of people like that's kind of entirely subjective as far as like what's a full game, because for some people if they play a game and they're like, yeah, that was everything I wanted, then that's fine. Like there you go, you're good.
I didn't know Kirby had DLC.
It was all free, just patches.
Okay.
Yeah, there were 3 waves of updates. Most of them had
they were like add a character and like maybe a mode or like an extension.
I mean, they had lots of characters that they added. I feel it was probably like 3 or 4 friend characters or whatever, dream friends. That's what.
And then some of them are like variations on friends that were already there. Like they had like a different Meta Knight and like that sort of.
But then some new modes, that kind of thing, and like higher difficulties of a side mode. But like the one thing, honestly, if they just added, I feel like a harder difficulty of the base game, that would have made a big difference, but they never did.
It really played itself. Let's not get into how bad that game is, but
a lot of people, it was interesting. Actually, I'm going to skip over the first comment and come back to that one that I was going to read. Andrew Harris wrote, Kirby is great. Even if Star Allies is my least favorite game, I'd say it was still worth it and fun since I played that game for more than 100 hours. And that was my least favorite Kirby game. If they make an amazing Kirby game, you can expect I'll eat that up. Which I thought was interesting.
Kirby as well.
I just thought, first of all, I didn't know for sure that there was 100 hours worth of content in it. So that was interesting to see somebody that.
I think it's just a matter of like, there's just certain games that are comfort food, regardless of like how substantial it is. It's like, I like being in this level, I like being in this world, so I'm going to play through this whole thing over and over again and see what I can like do better. Or
I mean, that's like me in Breath of the Wild and Korok Seeds. Like, there is no reason I should have gotten as many Korok Seeds as I did, but I just like love doing it. So
100 hours in Kirby Star Allies.
Yep. There you go.
Plus, if you know a lot of kids and you're like, hey, this is like
if you just know a lot of kids.
I mean, if you have kids, then you probably know a lot of kids.
That's true. I'm just saying, like, I go to church, so I just know a lot of kids at church. But I play a lot of games. Like,
I've seen Moana. I've got a friend with a kid, so I've seen like large chunks of Moana, like about 20 times, and they've seen it double that. So I think if you have a kid and they're like, I would like to play Kirby now, you give them Kirby and they play that for an hour. You do that 200 times, 100 times rather. You've made 100 hours of Kirby up pretty quickly, right?
Yeah, I mean, kids do that a lot. They'll like consume the same. And
there was some
comments
that was somebody talking about how they're like, I bought it and it was fine. I played the whole thing. I like completed it or whatever. But I feel mostly that I got my worth out of it because my 3 and 5-year-old played all the time. I mean, it sounds like for Andrew that wasn't the case, where he's actually playing it himself, which is, again, like,
maybe
it was fun.
Andrew is a 3-year-old. You never know.
Maybe. So hang on just a second. I accidentally I stopped recording myself for a second there, literally for just a second, but we're good. I'll just have to. I'll have a quiet bit for a second. So sorry about that, everybody who listened to that last second and I wasn't talking. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. In any case, it's just fun to hear different people's experiences, to see what they do and don't enjoy. And then somebody else said, so Haruhi Suzumiya, you're welcome for probably butchering your name, I apologize, said, to be fair, Kirby Wave 3 was the end of Star Allies and the best story epilogue. I don't know it conclusively because I don't really know, like, I didn't play the game, but I still don't feel like even if it finishes the game out through DLC, that still kind of proves the point of like that it really shouldn't, maybe.
Yeah, especially if it was like if that came out in the span of time that it takes most people to finish the game, then whatever. Like if it was like week 3 even, I'd be like, okay, whatever. But this was months after the game came out.
Almost a year, I think. Maybe not quite a year.
A free epilogue to the story is exactly what Breath of the Wild got, essentially. I don't think...
Well, it was a paid epilogue for Breath of the Wild.
Even
but yeah.
I don't think that it coming up months later detracts from it. I think the game not being very good in the first
place. But that's what I'm saying. If the game's not good and it didn't hold you, getting the closure that you want from the game, or like the good part months after the game already turned you off, that's not good. But if it came out a week later and it's like, hey, this game that you don't like that much, maybe try it again. Yeah. I think that's the thing. Like, and I mentioned in the video too, but like, I'm personally not one to, once I've had my, I don't know, run of a game pretty much, I probably won't go back to it for a long time. So if, like, Breath of the Wild being kind of the exception, well, except I still kind of was playing that throughout, still up until the last DLC came out. I was just dabbling in it a little bit here and there, but I would have gone back for that one regardless. But for a lot of games like Torna, for example, I played Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I loved it. But then once Torna came out, it was so far beyond it that I was like, I'm just going to wait till later to play this now. Like,
I still haven't played that.
Yeah, it sounds like it's fantastic, and I'd love to play it. But it's at this point, I'm not in that game anymore. So I'm on to other things for now. So I think the idea of like spreading it out, and I mean, that was kind of a main thesis of mine, which goes into this next comment too. Daniel Adioato, probably said that wrong again. But
it's a tough set of comments you've chosen, Parker, here.
I know. Except for Andrew Harris. That one was real straightforward. Thanks, Andrew, for having an easy name. And so Daniel said, well, in response to, I made the point towards the beginning of the video that generally most things fall out of the news cycle super fast now. Like, we'll be expecting them for years before they happen, and used Kingdom Hearts 3 and Shenmue 3 as examples of that. Like, those games were talked about for more than a decade before they came out, and then they came out, and then after about 2 or 3 weeks. They were kind of just out of the news cycle, and maybe people were still playing them to some degree, but it like wasn't in the actual media. And so Daniel said, hey, Kingdom Hearts 3 is still relevant. Well, nice video anyway. And then he said, I'm waiting for the Remind DLC. And I responded to the comment, and I was like, oh, thanks for pointing that out. I actually didn't know about the DLC, but unfortunately, I think that kind of brings both of our points together, where it's awesome that, somebody's still waiting for it.
I think it kind of proves your point.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Because the whole thing is like, it's not in the news cycle. The general public isn't thinking about this game anymore. But the people that love the game, of course, they're thinking of it still.
Right.
It's crazy how like 10 years of development then turned into like a month of hype, and then now we're waiting for DLC, really, I guess.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think so. Like DLC is the thing that can, because ultimately, like, if something's not in the news cycle, and if it's not either in the news cycle or has shelf space somewhere, whether that be on an eShop type thing or in an actual store, then nobody's going to know to look for something unless they already know about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think with that, like Kingdom Hearts 3, just as an example, between the time that it came out and now, other than people that know that they're excited about it, you just aren't hearing about it. So that's really the purpose of DLC, is to kind of like just spread out the marketing of it past the point of release so that it just doesn't just fall off instantaneously.
Mm-hmm.
But then the question of how that's done, I think was the thing that I mostly wanted to look into in the video, which I think is, I could honestly talk about for a whole lot longer. But I don't know.
Save it for video 2, the sequel.
Save it for video 2. But then the last comment, which is just a question from me, because I just did that, was do you guys, the two of you, think that we'll get like complete editions now that we've got all these games with DLC towards the end of the Switch life cycle? Do you think we'll get like, Super Smash Brothers Ultimate, whatever, like complete edition or something like that, or like Breath of the Wild? Or will we just get the games plus the DLC that we can buy if we want to, and then on the follow-up sequel we'll get ports of the Ultimate games? Those are kind of the two option scenarios that I could see happening.
So in one way, that already exists in Deluxe. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is all the DLC from the last game packaged together. Whether they're going to do that again for Switch games that already exist, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think it depends on the company. I think like Ubisoft. I think Ubisoft already did that.
The gold edition of Mario Rabbids.
Mario plus Rabbids. But I don't think Nintendo is going to do that. They're not going to do like a definitive Breath of the Wild with the DLC.
Yeah, because I mean, like most other companies kind of do that. Where like Sony, I mean, you could buy like Horizon Zero Dawn with all of its DLC for probably $20 a lot of places or something like that.
Yeah.
The thing about that though is they do that to bolster sales that aren't healthy. Whereas Nintendo is like, well, we're already making more than we thought we would off of this, so there's no reason to lower the price and bundle it in and do it. You do that thing when you're trying to raise your profits. They already are happy with them, so they're like, we'll just keep everything like it is.
I mean, and the question too is whether or not the follow-up generation, the swap, is going to be backwards compatible will also play into that.
I think it definitely will be backwards.
I would think so too. So then at that point, maybe, it's just necessity-wise, they really kind of don't need to. But it would be nice if they did at the same time. I don't know. I'm just curious how that's going to pan out.
Yeah. Maybe we'll see. Maybe that'll be it. I don't think it's something Nintendo's in the business of doing, because they like. Yeah. When have we seen Nintendo give a good deal this generation? When have we seen a good deal from Nintendo? When are we? I think we're more likely to see the cut down versions that don't have DLC, and then people are going to buy the game for £20 and then have to spend £20 on the DLC. I think we're more likely to see that than
when
we are.
Nintendo Selects happens in like 2021 or something like that. Yeah. That's kind of what I figured too.
And then you buy the DLC separately because you now own the game for cheaper. So now you're more incentivized to spend another £20 or $20 or whatever on the DLC. Or in some cases, like Fire Emblem, $35. We could be completely shocked, but I don't know if Nintendo's in the. They don't do things like that because, like AJ said, they don't have sales to try and recoup. They don't have to try and alter their set. They don't have to go, well, crap, no one's buying this game anymore because it's been the first 2 weeks.
Especially thinking about the fact that it's on cartridges now, where may at best I could see that they would do, and the DLC comes for free in like, because mostly I think the reason you would do this kind of thing, or not the reason you would do it, but the benefit of this is the longevity of like, I've got a cartridge that has everything on it, or a deep, Blu-ray or whatever that has the whole thing on it. It's never going to go bad or whatever. You won't have a Scott Pilgrim versus the World game situation where it's like, you just can't access it.
I mean, you can still
But that whole thing. But the cartridge is definitely a factor where like Breath of the Wild is like 13 gigs or something. So including its DLC
total,
on, I think its DLC is 1 gig. So
I think Breath of the Wild is actually about 10 or 11 gigabytes.
Oh, maybe it is.
Ironically, I think that's the reason why they wouldn't do it.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Because it's like, are we going to spend more to save them money?
Yeah, exactly. No, I think that's a point too. That was what I was trying to get at. It's like, I could see them not wanting to do it for that reason. I could see them adding maybe a download code in for free at most at that point, but they're not going to add it to the cartridge, which at that point, as far as longevity reasons, that doesn't even help. So
yeah, they don't want to support secondhand sales by just having a version of the game that's got all the DLC on it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So it's interesting stuff. But that is everything from our videos, and now we've got some Q&A. You guys can ask us questions on Discord and Twitter and the YouTube community tab, which I'm going to check the YouTube community tab real quick, just because a lot of times they'll come in right at the last second. And if there's anything there, then we'll talk about those too. But if not, that's fine. And it looks like, nope, there's not. Cool. So there we go. Here's some questions. Pretty much all from Discord, because our Discord community is phenomenal, and we love
they went in today, didn't they?
They did.
I mean, they've been putting stuff.
Yeah, there's like 4 of these that are from before you even asked today. So good job, everybody. Chicapo asks, will we ever get a ping DQ in Smash?
What does that mean?
Hang on, let me try to guess. The ping is like to show what somebody's internet ping is or whatever.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
DQ, display question.
Okay, so ping, like you say, ping. Disqualification.
Maybe.
So if your ping is bad, you get kicked out, disqualified from a match. AJ?
I don't know if they'll do all that.
What does DQ stand for? You don't.
It probably does mean disqualified. I don't know. That's not something that's freaking standard for me.
I'm gonna search. I'm gonna Google ping DQ because I don't know.
Hey, it's not a thing. I mean, it might be a thing, but
it might be like a PC thing.
Yeah,
I can't find it.
All right, Chicapo, you'll have to let us know. What's the DQ stand for? But I mean, obviously, it's probably like in Mario Tennis where you see their ping and it's like, ooh, you sure you want to play against this person?
No. I think it's possible. They kind of have a thing of like, oh, your internet's bad, so you get kicked, but it's not. They don't really use it.
It has to be probably like super, super bad, I'd guess, for that to be a thing.
Doesn't even feel like that. It just seems like random, honestly. It's like, oh, you disconnected at the time that we were paying attention, so like, you got bad internet, dude. You know,
what a loser. Yeah.
Chicapo, the official response is it's ping, disqualification, and no.
At this point, I think they would have already had it implemented from the get-go if it were going to be a thing, and it's not. So, but it would be helpful, and it would be nice. So, next question from Multi. Parker, AJ, potential guest. Oh, look, that's you, Max. Have you gotten to watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure? I remember Parker asked where he should start a while ago, so yeah. If so, what do you guys think of the show so far? Favorite characters, favorite parts, etc., etc. Have you guys watched it at all?
All I know about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is that there's a point where the main character becomes like great grandson or something. Or,
grandson, yep, absolutely.
Is that correct? Mm-hmm. That's all I know. That's all I know about the show.
So I started watching on an airplane from the season that it was the grandson, and I was like, this is dope. I should watch more of this. And then found out, oh, that was season 3. I should go back to season 1. Started watching season 1. I was like, I don't know if I like this so much. And so I reached out, and it actually might have been you, I guess, who said, just start with season 3. It's like almost completely different stories. Like it references it a lot, blah, blah, but it explains what it needs to. So since then, I probably watched like 3 more episodes, and I still really like it. I just haven't watched that much more of it. I also am watching Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood because my friend Mitch was like, you got to watch that. So I'm trying to keep up with both of those. But I mean, I'm also watching like more active things like My Hero and
I'm
whatnot.
just watching the Baby Yoda show, dude. That's all I'm watching. Man.
Yep, I'm watching that one with Ashley, so we're pretty far behind because like she has to be in like kind of a right mood to watch it. So
I am watching nothing.
Oh yeah, you can't watch the Baby Yoda show.
No, I can't. I literally can't watch it until
you can't watch it.
March. I've got to wait for. Oh, I'm still seeing a spoiler for every single episode, just posted everywhere by everyone because they just expect.
I think I've only seen the spoiler just of the Baby Yoda part. Like at this point, it's not even a spoiler anymore. Like everybody knows it's everywhere. But
did you see the dreadful merch? Where they were just we need to get merch out in time for holidays, take the concept art, and then slap it on a t-shirt with the word "The Child" written on it. And we did about 6 of them in different colours with different font, but the same picture. And they were like, "There's your merch. You want it?"
There's also a pop figure because there's a pop figure.
Oh man!
Oh yeah, but everyone saw that.
I freaking hate pop figures, dude.
Speaking of t-shirts, though, go for it. You first.
Me?
Yep.
I was going to say Baby Yoda was specifically designed to sell a pop vinyl. That's the only reason it exists.
Pops are trash.
So, speaking of t-shirts, did you guys see the trend too, or was it just me who saw that thing this week?
The copyright situation?
Yeah, I love that so much.
I didn't understand why they were doing it. I was like, what the heck is going on? It's like something to do with some site that sells.
So there's a bunch of sites, I guess, that have bots that when somebody puts up a picture and a bunch of people are like, oh my goodness, we should have a t-shirt of this, they'll just have bots make a t-shirt of that image, which is like, don't do that. Like that's bad because that's copyright infringement. And
artists are having their works stolen and put on t-shirts and so on. They're like, well, I'm making no money on this, but that's my art.
Yeah. So that's really dumb. So then what people did was the first step was putting up somebody did an art thing that was just like, this is copyright infringement. I don't own this thing, blah, blah, blah.
And this is not parody. And
exactly. And then people said, I want this on a t-shirt. And then a bunch of sites were like posting t-shirts that you could buy with it on there, and they were like, okay, so that's a thing. But then they went one step further and they're like, if we put Disney stuff up and do this exact same thing, stuff will happen. And it's like my favorite. It was so good because like it's vigilante work at its like most crowdsourced. And it's great. It worked. It got big companies to do for us. I mean, I don't know how much.
There are some t-shirts have been taken down. Some websites have just straight like stopped selling the t-shirts because someone's obviously said something. Now, take a bow, my friend. That was superb. The Disney image is so perfect. it just encapsulates the whole thing in one thing. It's Mickey Mouse. Oh, so good. Yeah, congratulations.
It's really good. So yeah, really a good job to everybody for doing that. I really enjoyed that this week. It was just fun. So, moving along to the next comments, or questions rather. Patar asked, do you think they will ever make an HD remake of Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask for the Switch? Or am I going to have to start blowing on my N64 carts to try to remember how to hold the N64 controller while squinting at my 55-inch TV and pretending it looks good? I know there are SD versions on the 3DS, and they could port the N64 versions to the potential N64 Nintendo Online Service app, but that's not the question.
That reads like a horror film.
True.
I'm holding the controller and I'm looking at the screen and which of the 3 knobs do I hold with my hands?
Just touch them like that.
I think eventually they'll do like it'll get like the Link's Awakening treatment, but I don't know if it's going to be on the Switch. Maybe on the Swap. Maybe on the Swap too. They're like, all right, freaking N64 is retro enough for us to do a whole art style that people don't like because they have a different perception of what Ocarina of Time is. Because everybody's like, you know what, freaking Zelda should be Lord of the Rings, or even darker than Lord of the Rings. It should be like this dark, gritty thing. But it's about this little elf boy that attacks chickens and a horde of evil chickens.
Why isn't Zelda M-rated?
Yeah, exactly.
So
it's like, have you ever played this game? Zelda is 100% a kids game. There's some dark stuff in it, but it's very goofy.
Yeah,
it's very goofy. So
it's Japanese dark, where it's like humorous at the same time.
I definitely think that we're just gonna get N64 stuff come probably next September. I'd guess at this point it seems like a reasonable thing, which that's really far away, but whatever. Probably we'll see that next September, and if we get remakes for these, they would be so far away.
What I think is, so there was a thing last year, like early last year, where Nintendo said, "Oh, we want to have a Zelda game, a new Zelda game on the Switch every year, one a year, right?"
Yeah.
So we had Breath of the Wild, and then we had nothing last year, did we?
Hyrule Warriors.
Hyrule Warriors, that'll do.
Yep.
It's not necessarily about the Zelda game. We had Hyrule Warriors. This year we had two, actually. We had Cadence of Hyrule and Link's Awakening. Breath of the Wild.
Wait, if Hyrule Warriors isn't a Zelda game, how's Cadence of Hyrule a Zelda game?
No, I changed my mind. I agreed.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And I said it's not a new Zelda game, but it is a Zelda.
Oh yeah, okay, because it's a port of the. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So next year, if we're lucky and we get Breath of the Wild 2,
we better be lucky.
Well, yeah, but your video says it. If you get that holiday 2020, then great. If not, they need to have a Zelda game to fill in that gap, right?
Yeah.
Are they going to be?
Sword, that was the rumor. So
yeah, I remember that.
That's what it's going to be.
Yeah, but isn't that rumor entirely based on something that
Aonuma was like, yeah, we want to do that.
But people, then he was like, oh no, you took that out of context.
Yeah.
That was off record. I was just saying that would be cool. Yeah. I think we're probably going to see a Zelda game next year. I don't think it's going to be a new Zelda game. I think it's more likely to be a port. Whether they're going to just do the easy job of like, here's Twilight Princess and here's Wind Waker from the Wii U. But if they're going to do that, at what point do they stop just adding games to this collection they've created? Yeah. Nintendo's not really in the business of making collections. I think the last actual collection...
they kind of are. They kind of invented it.
But they stopped
Mario
a long time ago. They need to get back
Mario
on
Superstars is like the last one that I can think of. That was
Kirby collection on the Wii. I think I did a video on it like back 6 or forever million months ago. And yeah, I think that's like the last real one was Kirby on the Wii, which is quite a while ago.
Which, yeah, I don't think.
So, I mean, I'm more with Max on this. That like Nintendo, even though they originated it,
but that's the thing. He's saying that they're not in the business of doing it, but they're doing it, just not actually doing it. Like they're bringing all these Wii U games and all these Zelda games and stuff like that, but they're not bundling them, which they have never stopped doing. They've like consistently been porting games like up to new consoles and stuff like that. They just don't bundle them. So like it's not like on Nintendo to be like, okay, Twilight Princess, it's from the Wii U, but it's on the Switch now.
It's like
buy it, $60.
Fake leaks. There's always those fake 4chan leaks, and you're reading through it, and you're like, "This is plausible." And it's like F-Zero collection, Star Fox collection. You're like, that's it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, nope, it's fake. It's fake because they would tell us to buy them separately.
Yeah. I was doing a Pikmin collection alongside Pikmin 3. Are they? I doubt that. Like Bayonetta 1 and 2, they did that as a collection. But if you bought it on the eShop, you have to buy it in 2 separate parts, and it costs $60.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did it with Pikmin. I think there's a formula. I think it's like, okay, how popular is this franchise? Do people care about it enough to buy them piecemeal? I don't think.
Like the Metroid Prime trilogy.
If there's few enough of them, that also makes it a little bit easier. Where like Pikmin, there's only 3, so they could probably do a straight port of 3, or like a deluxe port of 3 or whatever, and then 1 and 2 as a bundle. But then like Zelda is more complicated because there's so many Zelda games. So like which ones?
Yeah, they're not going to do Zelda.
Whatever.
They're not going to do Zelda. Because Zelda, those are $60 games. They can straight up just say, "Hey, here's another $60 Zelda game."
Yep,
absolutely.
But I could see them compiling an Earthbound situation or do it, because those are games that like they have cult followings, but they're not like. You're not going to put it on a freaking GameStop standee and everybody be like, "Yo, I'm pre-ordering that game now." You know, like.
Yep. But good question in any case. Just probably start blowing out those carts, unfortunately. Curtis asks, question for the podcast. What are your guys' thoughts on Temtem, the Pokemon ripoff? Here's a quick thought: is the trailer, whatever that dropped yesterday or something like that. I watched it a little bit earlier, and there's straight up a part of the music that goes dun. Dun, 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 dun.
Is that?
And then like it does other things. Instead of going up, it goes dun, 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 dun. And I'm like, whoa, guys, very close.
Second, it just gets it in your head. Yep. I nearly kickstarted this game, and then I saw like the date was like something 2020, and I was like, I don't think I care enough about this existing. By that point, the Pokemon's going to be out, because we knew that the Pokemon RPG was coming out, and I was like, I'm not going to kickstart it, because by the time the game's out, I'm going to have the Pokemon RPG. I'm just not going to care. And right now, I feel that way. That I'm like, Pokemon's out. However, if when it comes out, there's enough proof that this is like a Pokemon-like feeling, it gives you the feeling of a Pokemon game without all the nostalgia and the recognizable Pokemon and stuff like that. Yeah, I'll give it a go. Sure.
I think this game is very unlike what people want it to be, and they're going to actually do what they accuse people doing, that like Pokemon Sword and Shield. And they're going to exaggerate how good it is because it's the anti-thing that they want to hate on right now. Because all signs point to this being a worse Pokemon game. It's like, it's an MMO game, but it has 70 Pokemon. Imagine if Pokemon Sword and Shield had not 70 new Pokemon, but 70 Pokemon, period. Period.
Yeah.
Right. And then it's like, oh, this whole game is built around co-op and stuff like that. You know how freaking frail this game is going to feel? It's going to feel paper thin.
Yeah.
I was thinking about Pokemon MMOs today too, because I don't remember why, but I was. And I think the thing with it is like it would be phenomenal, but it couldn't be as like full of a world of other player characters, or it would ideally not be as full of a world of other player characters as, you know, like RuneScape or World of Warcraft or something like that. Like ideally it should feel like this giant world has 100 other trainers in it, and I'm seeing some of them. You know, like
I think Pokemon, just as the world of Pokemon isn't conducive to the entire experience being MMO. Because think of it, you're going from gym to gym. You're not challenging the gym leader together. That would change the whole like vibe of it. You would have to change the Pokemon. Like it would have to be like a doubles tournament rather than it being like you're the champion. Like if they maintain how it is now and they make the entire game massively multiplayer and stuff like that. Okay, this is what the game's going to be. It's going to be okay. We're going on a journey, right? And it's me, you, and Max. And I'm going to go to the gym and I'm battling the gym leader first. And you're going to sit there and watch me battle the gym leader. And then you're going to battle the gym leader. And I'm going to want to go to the next gym, but like, you know, I got to be a friend and watch you battle the gym leader. So I'm going to sit there and watch you battle the same exact gym leader with the same exact Pokemon, and then watch Max do the same thing. And then okay, let's go to the next thing.
Well, that's not how MMOs work, is it? MMOs are the four of you going at the same time. You then go into your own little bit. You all do it. You come out and you go, that was kind of cool. We did that. Cool.
Yeah, I'm not saying how MMOs work. I'm saying how Pokemon works. The universe of Pokemon. If you think of Pokemon in the anime and the shows or whatever, that's what they do. They're like, oh, we're traveling together, and we all have our. Sometimes they'll have their separate goals, where one of them is a Pokemon coordinator, and they go to Pokemon contests. So it's like, oh, let's go to this town, and I'll go to the gym, and then we'll go to the contest for you. Or in this case, it's going to be, okay, we're all going to complete this gym, and that's what we're going to do. And most MMOs, you're completing a thing that is a shared goal, and the challenge is for everyone. But a gym isn't a challenge for everyone together. It's a challenge that's individual.
I think if there's a Pokemon MMO at any point, it would have to be just separate from, unless it's very...
I think it needs to be the wild area. And be able to actually like it's post game stuff. It's okay. Now we can battle everybody in the world. Like that's what it is. Like Pokemon Sword and Shield is what people should want, because that's what's in universe. What makes the most sense. It just needs to be better on a technical level.
It would be cool. Like, I mean, I don't know. It's a whole other conversation. But it would be cool. That said, as far as the Temtem stuff, I'm open to it for sure. I'm just curious to see what reports will be like when it comes out. But I do think the thing you said, AJ, of most likely people are going to be like, maybe inflate how good it is because of the contrast to Pokemon. I see that happening.
I think it's because you know how people are like, oh, Pokemon only gets the praise that it gets because it's Pokemon. Yeah, because it's Pokemon. You know, like it's not a thing of like, oh, people are saying that this game is more technically impressive or like the gameplay's better than it is. A big part of what makes Pokemon exciting is that you're in that world again. Temtem won't have that.
Yeah.
So it's just going to be Pokemon in a vacuum. So it's actually going to be what people try to judge Pokemon on. That like they try to remove a lot of with the actual like I can't even think of the word that I want to say. But like the core value of what a Pokemon game is not necessarily it's the most impressive game ever. It's game of the year, worthy or blah blah. It's that it's a Pokemon game.
Yep. I got to move on to the next question because I've only got a couple minutes, like 5 minutes left, and then I've got to go do family stuff. But we got some good questions here. Duncan asks, when it comes to the Game Awards, what do y'all feel like do you all feel like any games got snubbed? Anything you feel like should have been nominated that wasn't? Fire Emblem for so many things.
Fire Emblem for Game of the Year, for sure.
That was stupid. That was dumb.
Yep.
It's not even like this. I've got this niche thing for Astral Chain. It's like Fire Emblem was just this big game that everyone was universally loved.
Yeah,
and it's just only in the strategy. It's not even the RPG. It's in the strategy.
Yeah.
Stupid. Real dumb.
So that's the one. A bunch of other ones I feel like maybe a little bit could go in there, but Fire Emblem's the one that I'm like, no, that's
there are places that I think Untitled Goose Game holds that could be held by a more deserving game. But
you really hate this game, dude.
I don't. I like the game. I thought the game was great. I just think that awarding it things like, it's the best indie game of the year, or things like...
I think there's a lot of things. I mean, Death Stranding is probably the epitome of this.
I think Death Stranding's in way more places than it deserves.
Well, so here's the thing. And I think it's one of those things where, like, every time I talk about... and like the whole Chick-fil-A on Sunday thing, which Max would make no sense to you off the bat, maybe.
Okay.
Cool, great. So it's like you always talk about Chick-fil-A being closed on Sundays. Somehow your brain associates Chick-fil-A with Sundays, so then Sundays are like, this feels like a great Chick-fil-A day, which also Sundays would just be a good Chick-fil-A day. But there's also an association of those two things so that like you just think about them together more often. So I think Death Stranding with the Game Awards and Untitled Goose Game with the Game Awards, people talked about like, this is the game of the year for the longest time leading up to it, to where I think just the nominations going into it, people would be primed to be like, the first game that they would think of, they wouldn't necessarily say it if they didn't believe it to some extent, I guess. That depends on somebody's honesty, and I wouldn't be able to know for anybody.
I mean, for the most part, I was memeing when I said the Jeff Keighley thing, but I think he definitely was a major part of that. I think he definitely brought that to the table.
I think because of that conversation. I think because of the conversation part around it and like the association in people's minds, those two things go together. And I don't think he had a direct impact in so far as like him like
he didn't like
doing something.
I don't think he put it on the ballot.
No,
but I think that I think
was
like
people's association
for your I think he was for your consideration.
Maybe
Death Stranding.
The thing is, my understanding of how the Game Awards work is that you have your panel. So the panel's going to be like, this is how I understood from Greg Miller on Kind of Funny Games Daily. So they get like basically sent like a ballot sheet, or it probably doesn't come in the post. It comes over like over an email, right? It's like, okay, fill in your games of the year for all these different categories. Give us like 3 suggestions of each, maybe. They'll do the tally chart and work it all out, right?
Is it just
I don't think. It would be blank. It's just blank. Yeah. They submit.
That's what I would hope.
They all sit around the table. So Greg, and then the rest of the team sit around the table and they argue and they argue and they argue and they say, yeah, this should be here, this should be here. They'll come to a decision. They send that off. That is then built from that. I don't think Death Stranding being in that has anything to do with Jeff Keighley. I think that has everything to do with the ballots. The ballots were being sent around at the same time people were reviewing Death Stranding.
That's also
people
very
had
true.
a lot to say about Death Stranding. There were a lot they wanted to get out. There were people that loved it, had a lot to say. There were people playing it. Multiple people in the same office all playing it together.
But that's the thing, like with Death Stranding, if we're talking about the reviews were very polarizing on both ends of it. There were people that are like, I love this game, and they were the minority. Most people are like, what is this game? So, like, if that was the case, I think that it would be even less likely.
Here, some of the...
I don't like I said, I want to be clear. I don't think that he was like stacking the deck in its favor.
Right,
but I do think that, like, if they sent it off in a pack, because they probably do have, like, a hard copy of whatever it is. They sent something in the mail. I could see the packet, the envelope being a Death Stranding ad. I'm not even kidding with that part. Like I
wouldn't think so, but yeah, whatever. I think it would be on a subconscious. I would guess it's on a subconscious level, and even thinking back to like now seeing how people's reactions are to Death Stranding, like just gamers' reactions to Death Stranding. I'd wonder if some of the people that even gave it middling reviews would still put it up for awards because like they're like, it's a 7 game because it's boring, but this other thing was like great.
7. 7's a good score.
Yeah, so I don't know.
These
It's
are
interesting.
people that are giving it like 4s.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean but it got an 8.1 in overall or something like that. So that's obviously got enough good reviews.
Yeah, there's a strong positive sort of side to it, and I just think that it is the recency thing. As people were like, they had the music in their head at the time. They're like best soundtrack. They had Norman Reedus. They had Mads Mikkelsen in their head. Mads Mikkelsen. They had them in their head, and they were like, yeah, they were the best. They were the best. Put them on the sheet. But all it takes is for enough people to have them on one of their 3 choices because they were playing the game at the time that it gets put on there.
Yeah.
And
even if they put it as their number 3 or whatever, like it might not win all these awards, but if it's on enough people's minds, then it'll get in there more easily anyway. Good.
That's that.
Yeah,
thanks.
Sure.
We will also talk more about this next week because we're going to find out what's going to happen. It'll be very interesting. But Fire Emblem definitely should have been on more things. In my humble opinion. Grimhain asks, and there was a whole conversation about this. He asked it at first. People clarified for forever in the Discord thing. But long story short, potato chips or corn/tortilla chips. Only one can survive Fanatics foods. Doritos are not included in either grouping. However, they are also,
Wait, why aren't they?
They're also not an acceptable surprise answer.
What? But
why aren't
Doritos are tortilla chips? They are corn chips.
I think just because I don't know.
I mean, I wouldn't pick corn chips anyway. Well, why aren't they?
Doritos is like the biggest brand of
I think because
chips.
it makes it feel like an easy out because you could just have like lots of different flavors of Doritos. But I feel like potato chips is an easy out because there's freaking 30,000 different kinds of potato chips, and even with Doritos being in consideration, there's like 100, maybe 100 different types of corn chips. And here's the other thing too.
Say no Doritos because of. Say no Doritos.
I love that this is where we landed in this conversation, not on the like potato chips versus tortilla chips.
I'm picking potato chips because there's just more options, just generally. But I think that it's like I think Grimhain was Jeff Keighley our decision. He didn't even give us the option.
I would only pick tortilla chips because I love salsa. But here's the thing: I've had salsa on like ruffled original potato chips. It's still great. It's like not as classic of a combination, but like it's still salsa and it's delicious.
Do you know what, Grimhain? I respect your opinion. I respect you as a man. I respect your opinions, and I respect your knowledge about things, and that you're very good at Googling things when we need you to Google things for us.
That's true.
What I don't respect is this entire corn chip battle. I don't respect that you decided to take the most major tortilla chip brand, the only one in the United Kingdom, throw it out the window, and then if I say potato chips, go, but what about corn chips, man? Like, come on, Chris.
Just like here's how I'm thinking of it, right? Even removed from the amount of flavors and stuff that potato chips and stuff have. Plain corn chip to plain potato chip, corn chips are trash.
Yeah.
Plain is just salted, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
So like the yellow Doritos for you.
Thank you. I think that plain Doritos are better than plain like Walkers.
Depends for me if ruffled or not. A little bit ruffled is easy enough. Just wins.
Is that like a McCoy?
When I'm thinking plain,
I don't know,
corn chips, I'm thinking like the freaking long, like kind of like nail-esque like corn chip compared to like Lay's original. I think that those corn chips are like those, and in the variety bags, and they all come with the like Frito-Lay corn chip.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Those
are the ones that get left behind all the time.
Every time.
Nobody ever eats those.
The honey barbecue twist ones.
Yeah, those are good. Those are good.
Ruffles is pretty much McCoy's. It's the same.
Oh, nice.
Shape and thing.
So potato chips. What kind of a weirdo would pick off potato chips?
Yeah, exactly.
Potato chips and salsa. You crazy?
Especially when the main corn chips are just not. You can't.
Yeah, you just disqualified the best one.
Moving on. We got 2 more questions. Mega Man asks, what DLC content would you like to see for Pokemon? Should we save this for next week?
Yes.
Okay. because it's a good question, but we could go all sorts of places.
Mega Man, you've had your turn, Mega Man. Give something.
Yeah, come on. Just kidding. Last but not least, Falcon, who we haven't seen in a while because I think he was moving or something.
He was moving, and also he went on a cruise, dude.
Oh, wow.
Falcon's
Fun
been all over the
times.
place, man.
Welcome back.
Look at that. If you, we'd know all about your lives if you're one of our recurring members.
Yeah.
Not scary at all. It's
It's in the Discord.
I mean, it's only if you tell us. But brownies or cookies / biscuits, and why?
Biscuits.
Fanatics Foods.
Biscuits.
Brownies are pretty one-dimensional.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing. It's like brownies are great. I love brownies, especially if they have like actual chocolate chips in them, like to have a little bit of texture. But cookies, biscuits, whatever, like there's so much variety.
Yep. Also,
What are you
if
gonna
you would you be able to eat an entire
can
tray
feed
of
up a
brownies, but you could eat an entire pack of biscuits if you just sat there all day eating. Like but a
That's true.
tray of brownies, you'd eat 2 brownies and be like, "This is rich. This is incredibly rich."
Yep.
Yeah, but that, like, I mean, I'm not voting for brownies. But
Maybe that's
being
not the
able-
reason. Is that what you're going to say?
being able to eat the entire thing of something and not feel bad about it is not.
Oh no, you still feel bad. It's just that you can do it. Are you capable of
Not
doing it?
feel physically bad. Not feel,
I get fine. If I get 3 brownies deep, I need like a teaspoon of Marmite, which is not a reference that anyone else is going to get.
Oh my! That's Marmite and Vegemite are things.
Oh, ew,
that
gross.
I-
They're the most savoury things in the entire world. They're pure.
Absolutely.
umami.
Just-
too many brownies is too many sweets, right?
Yeah.
Can't be done. Biscuits, though. Biscuits are, if you get the good biscuits, like in the United Kingdom, where you get like digestive biscuits, where
Oh man,
you
they're
can have
great.
them. You can have
Pims?
them.
I mean, I'm
Yep.
not a huge.
I'm very.
I'm not a
bro.
huge sweets person in general, so I would prefer for me to be like to have one and feel like satisfied and be like, okay, I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't need any of this. I came here for what I kind of want.
I came here for what I wanted.
AJ, the question, AJ, was brownies or cookies, not brownies.
as a thing, not eating multiple, but saying like as the entity that is brownie and the entity that is cookies.
Fanatics Foods.
You know what? This is
Exactly,
the entity.
meaning different foods. Not saying like whenever somebody's
Multiple
like
of one.
Yeah, not saying when somebody's like, "Hey, you like sandwiches?" The assumption isn't that you're eating 30 of the sandwiches.
I like multiple sandwiches, you know.
No, just one, but like the different kinds of them.
True. Speaking
We're
of
not
different
gonna-
kinds of things,
Yes.
we have different kinds of content every single week.
Yup.
Like this, and this is one of them. And this one is ending real soon. Any last? Oh, we always forget to like talk about the LootPots or whatever because you're just on here as a
'Cause he's
friend
just
sometimes.
here.
But you want to
Yeah.
shout out LootPot stuff for anybody?
Absolutely. You can find LootPots on lootpots.com. We are doing reviews and news and all sorts of cool things like that. We have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/lootpots. We have our own podcast called The Potscast. AJ was actually on it last week or the week before. I think it was 2 weeks ago now,
Yeah.
where they spoke a lot about Pokemon and things. It's always a good time. There's less American people on it, so if that's your cup of tea, I'd recommend checking that one out. And what else do we do? We're on Twitter. We're all on Twitter. I think Pete is going to do a better job of doing. Oh, do we have a Discord? We have a Patreon.
Mhm.
Pete can do this next week. I'm a free agent right now as far as I'm
See,
concerned.
you ruined it. You ruined it because I was going like you're going to do your whole plug, and I was like, you can also follow Pete at loud_Pete. That's what I was going to do. But you ruined it.
I was never going to give Pete that chance. I'm never.
You ruined it because see. Ironically, you ruined it by mentioning him. I wanted you to not mention it.
Pete said to me today that he, it's 2020. He wants to make amends, and I was like, I don't know if I can do that. Man.
That's a two-way street. I don't know if we can do that here.
We'll see what happens next week when we do. We'll see what happens. We agree with and all that stuff. So
He has to admit that Crash Bandicoot. He doesn't have to say it's trash, but he has to at least admit that
Spyro is better.
not that great.
Yeah, right. Thank you. I'm glad we see eye to eye. We disagree sometimes.
Yeah,
There you go.
That too. Copyright claims.
Beautiful.
What's the random thing that we're going to tell people to say in the comments?
Oh, Max, you're a guest. Do you want to ask people a random question?
Yeah, I want to know who was the best member of the Goodies, which is an old sort of 60s, 70s British TV show I've never watched. Who was your favourite of the 3 Goodies?
Nigel, for sure.
Yeah. Don't give them hints.
Was that one? I'm pretty sure.
William. I don't know.
I think my music teacher in high school watched it. No, she also. I'm thinking of
somebody named William.
I can think of two of them by name, but I don't know if I can think of the third one. When we start recording, I'll give you the two. See if you can work out the third one. Excellent.
Okay. All right. Well, guys, see you never.
Like, comment, subscribe, dude. Goodbye.